Good morning, Alexios, Raptor Freak here. Sunday morning. Happy Easter, y'all. It's a Easter morning. I know a lot of us are not happy this morning, and for very obvious reasons. This is something that has happened in the history of the Raptors where we lose game ones of series. We got to remember in 2019, when we opened the playoffs against the Orlando Magic, we lost to the Orlando Magic in Toronto on our home court as the higher seed. So this is really kind of business as usual. This is exactly what Philadelphia needed to do to be all in this series, even in the first place. They had to play perfect. And they really did play a perfect game last night, guys. They got everything from the important players on their team that they needed. They didn't cause any turnovers for themselves. In the first half, the whole entire first half, they had 0 turnovers. And that is absolutely insane. And the other thing about it is their guys were really playing well. Like they played a perfect game, and they're not going to be able to do this for the whole series, guys. They cannot play this well every single game. I'm sorry. And there were a lot of things that happened. We're going to go by step by step. First, I want to catch up on what Raymond and Summer have been saying already early in the chat already. Let's see. Raymond Jacob is here. He is pissed off, and rightfully so in a lot of ways. I'm with him. That's why I'm wearing the Angry Beaver shirt today, for sure. Pascal definitely knows what a slugfest means now. Embiid going for the knockouts. Yeah, Embiid, listen, we're seeing something about Joel Embiid that's different. That listen, this is a guy who's matured into more of a veteran. As a young player, he was able to be pushed around. He was a little bit soft. He was able to get hit, and he was the guy getting injured like getting the injury himself, like Scottie did last night. He was that dude before, and he was just passing it down to our rookie, and it was ugly. And yeah, there's a lot of wondering about whether it was a dirty play or not. There's a lot of Raptor fans talking about stepping on his ankle like that. Was that intentional or not in some ways? But listen, I'll tell you what was intentional. The hits to the face, the elbows to the face, every left and right, and or the 3 or 4 of them that he got away with that Nick Nurse talked about in the press conference after the game, those were intentional. Like that flagrant foul where he hit Scottie in the face, that was great because the referees actually recognized it and called it correctly. But I don't think necessarily that him stepping on Scottie's foot was completely intentional. I'd hate to think that it was, honestly. And I don't like the way he was acting in different points. Like Joel Embiid really lost a lot of my respect. I went on yesterday about how I like the guy, but I'm really starting to hate the guy after last night because there were certain things I saw from him, a certain cockiness, a certain arrogance that kind of, listen, dude, yeah, you're doing good things and different things. Your team's up, but don't get ahead of yourself. You're starting to get your airplane out again, and it may be a little too early for that. Let me just say that right now. People are already trying to ring the death bell for us because of what happened last night. They're way too fucking early with that. I'm going to tell you that right now. There's a lot of series to go. There's a lot of adjusting to go. And we find out what happens with our guys with their injuries and stuff. Hopefully they're not too bad. And Scottie's a young guy, and maybe he can come back and be fine. A lot of people are trying to read this as, oh, he's done, everything. We don't know for sure. The initial x-ray last night was negative. They're going to do imaging today, and they'll have more of a look at it. Listen, he's a young kid. He's 20 years old, and if anybody's going to be able to bounce back from an injury like that, it will be Scottie Barnes. I'm more concerned about Thad's thumb in some ways right now. Yeah, because the way he was holding it and the way that he went out with it, that was pretty bad too. So let me keep going. Raymond Jacobs saying Scotiabank Arena is going to be very hostile place come game 3. Yeah, Sue's going to be down there, and a lot of other Raptor fans that if they watched this game last night and they saw how the fans in Philly acted, how the things happened and went down in the game and different things like that, where the refs are fucking being bullshit. Scotiabank Arena is going to be very interesting on Wednesday with how our fans are going to be and with how they're going to come out there. And you know what? I hope we are very hostile. I hope that we let the refs hear that we ain't going to stand for this biased bullshit that went on last night. I said such nice things about this Raptors ref crew yesterday. And once again, I got to take it back. I'm going to stop saying nice things about the ref crews because I'm just going to assume that the worst first instead of giving them kudos because they certainly did influence this game last night. One of the things we were looking for, and Summer's talking about it here. Let me get down. I'm going to go through the comments and talk about them as I get to them. But Raymond Jacobs saying fans want Sixers dead. So much to discuss today, I bet. Yeah, there's a lot of Raptor fans that are not impressed with how dirty the Sixers were in some ways last night, specifically Joel Embiid. And the thing about Joel Embiid is he's the biggest fucking player on the court. He should not be able to be allowed to go around and bully. One of the things Nick Nurse said after the game in his press conference was, what the fuck are we supposed to do if we get in front of him and we get good position and they just let him run right over us and they don't call jack shit? Like if we get position and it's supposed to be an offensive charge and it would be on the other end and they're not calling it and stuff like that, we can't win is what Nick Nurse said. If the referees are going to call the game like that. And him and Fred were very smart in the press conferences after the game about how they kind of critiqued the refs. They didn't outright say it, so I don't think they'll get fined, but they were very critical of the way the calls were being called last night. And that there was some dangerous shit happen out there. And we saw some injuries happen partly because of some of this dangerous shit that they were allowing. Oh, yeah. Raymond Jacobs saying if Scottie is out for good, even that, I honestly may join that trade too. See, he's saying he's going to get crazy and hostile if these guys are out. Now, like I said, Dad's injury looks really bad. Like with the thumb, the way he fell with Harden near him and stuff like that, and the way he was holding his hand, and the fact that he left and he went right to the back, and I never even saw him come back out. That seems really bad. Now, I know the Scottie one's super scary because obviously, like this man was 2 assists away from getting a triple-double in his first ever playoff game, and then he goes out like that. And I know everybody's really scared and worried. And in some ways, we need to make perspective on this and say, listen, if this is our lot for this playoff run, that our rookie is out, we need to worry about his health long term. This short-term worry about rushing him back for a playoff run now and stuff like that may be folly. It may be something we don't necessarily want to do. But it's just, listen, this is the taste of the playoffs. He got it right in the face. Literally, he got smacked in the face. The Philadelphia Sixers came out and smacked us in the face literally last night. And that, I didn't like how some of our guys responded last night. We're going to get to this. But I also don't like how the Philadelphia 76ers were playing. That was real dirty in a lot of ways. Let's keep going. Raymond's also saying, please add Maxey to the Embiid and Harden walls. Stop him, please. Yes, the Maxey stuff was way out of control. And I will talk about this. We'll get more into this. I'm just going to gloss over your initial comments because I did kind of want to have a structure to how I was going to do this. Raymond's also saying, I'm so mad. I know I'm not alone. Yeah, a lot of Raptor fans are very mad this morning. We feel a little bit like that was very biased. That was very dirty. Once again, we lost, and we had not only insult to injury, injury to insult to defeat, all that kind of shit, all in one and stuff like that. I have to give credit to Doc Rivers. He did a great job preparing his team. He had a perfect game plan, and they executed it. They really, really did. They did everything that we like to do better than us and took everything that we like to do away from us. And then their players that are important played perfectly in some ways. Like you cannot expect the Sixers to play this perfect in any more of these games in this series. If it happens, that means we failed as a defensive team. And then also, like, this is way too good. They don't play this good normally against us. And we're not going to allow this again. Trust me, because there were so many quarters they scored 30-plus points. 35 points in the first quarter, 34 points in the second quarter, 38 points in the third quarter. It's almost like the referees weren't allowing us to play defense. Yeah, and that's what Summer Lowe's saying right here. Bullshit refs. Freddie's 2 fouls for nothing. I'm going to tell y'all guys something real fucked up. That, that Memphis-Minnesota game went long yesterday. So a lot of people didn't even see the first 10 minutes of our game yesterday, including me. I did not even see the first 10 minutes of the game because they had it shifted over on another stream, and I didn't switch fast enough. I didn't even see the 2 fouls on Fred early, and that's kind of fucked up. And you're saying, Summerlow, that he didn't do anything with these fouls? I believe that because we were talking about this in the days leading up to this series, that we don't want to see any too quick fouls on key player on the Raptors over some bullshit. And that was one of the ways they were trying to fuck us up. get Fred in foul trouble right away. And that really did set the tone in bad ways. And we saw Freddie get fouled out by the end of the game for sure and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's going to be something else. All right, some are saying refs decided Raptors not allowed to play defense. They normally do. Yeah, that's the comment that I saw. And that's true that they were calling it really touchy on one side of the ball. And then the other side of the ball, people were getting mugged and it didn't even fucking matter. Like they could fucking just elbow him in the face. That one flagrant was great. But there should have been way more of that kind of stuff. Like when Kem got hit in the face, that was pretty egregious also. Jimmy's saying poor Scottie. Yeah, it's really like not good. I mean, in a way, hey, here's your introduction to the playoffs, and this is how different it is, Scottie. You really get to know. The one thing that was really great about Scottie was he was playing really well and taking care of the pressure in a lot of ways. Like he came out, I saw the highlight from the beginning. He came out and had some really nice plays to help us start the game. He was doing really good things and he was frustrating Embiid. That's part of the reason why he was lashing out and doing aggressive things towards him. So it's like, it's the kind of thing that, it's the kind of thing where, they were really keen on different things about us and things like that. And we just didn't want to, they made it really hard for us to do the things we like to do. Like they did a really good job keeping us off the offensive boards. And if they're not going to cough the ball up or have any turnovers in any kind of way, that really stymies us and hurts us with our game also. I mean, we had runs. We had moments where we were starting to do good things and good things were happening, but there was just too much to overcome in different ways. And, our guys do need to play better. Half of it was that they played perfect, but also on the same side, our guys, as much as they said they were calm, cool, collected, fresh, and ready, they were not. And that it really was that factor of Philadelphia being a more veteran team and understanding the playoffs more, like with real experience, and our guys hypothetically understanding the playoffs and not necessarily totally understanding it in the reality of it. And that's really a lot of it. All right, I'm just blocking out Bucks fan. Because honestly, this guy doesn't even need to be here, and we don't need to listen to your bullshit, Chip. All right, so just fuck off, Buck. All right, because you know what? This is the first game of the first series, and you know what? We gave y'all 2 games in the fucking Eastern Conference Finals in 2019, and we still fucking came back and beat y'all in 4 games straight. And that's part of what I'm gonna say today is that listen, this is just one fucking game of 7, and there's a lot of basketball to still be played. And there's a lot of things that could still happen. So first of all, Chip, fuck off. You get the fuck out of here with your stupid ass fucking Milwaukee Bucks shit. We still own your ass until you beat us in the playoffs. So just fuck off right now. I'm not going to read any of your goddamn comments today. You can go eat shit, Milwaukee Bucks fan. All right. You have no business here, honestly. Jimmy Pope saying Embiid is playing dangerous. He's playing very dangerous. He's the biggest guy on the court. And he should not be allowed to operate that way physically on the court. And seriously, like he's already got all kinds of advantages. What the fuck? He's going to get the 3 guys in the other jerseys on the court on his side also? That's bullshit. And like I said, I lost a lot of respect for Joel. I thought Joel was a good guy, but he's a fucking asshole. Like the way he was cocky about things last night and shit like that. You're not your bully. You're a big fucking ugly bully. And I lost a lot of respect for him. Like I was like trying to defend you from people like Sue and other people talking about how we want to make him cry. Well, now I want to make you cry, Joel Embiid, because you're a fucking piece of shit for the way you played last night. And part of me knows that this is just you paying it back. That other players in the past, older players, beat you up, people like Marc Gasol, and now you're showing our younger guys that it's paying it forward. You get it too. I'm gonna hit you guys. I'm gonna beat you up. And like he said, he wasn't as he was injury prone. He's more hurt at different times, and maybe he's like, you know what? When you're younger, you gotta be hurt because we're gonna hit you and things like that. And that's his mentality. Tom Duke saying, "Good morning. Let's hope that we do a much better job next game." They shot crazy from 3 for most of the game. He really did. They shot like 50% from 3 exactly. It wasn't even Yang as much. Like I knew I was worried about Yang, but Yang wasn't the guy really off the bench. It was really more Maxey and even fucking Harden. Harden got going from 3 for a little bit. He had 4 3-pointers last night, 5 3-pointers for Maxey, and 3 for Tobias Harris, who, their starters did a really good job. We can't let Tobias Harris get 26 points in games. That should not be fucking happening. And then on top of that, Maxey was the best player on the court last night. He was balling out. I have to really respect the shit that he was doing last night. Like, honestly, the way that Doc Rivers described his game of attack last night was that he wanted to create lanes for Maxey to go right down. And that's creating these lanes off of having to kind of double on like Embiid and Harden at different times, allows Maxey these super lanes to just scoot right down. And, Fred was hampered by getting too early fouls in different ways defensively. And that really is an insidious kind of plan by the referees to say, we're going to get one of the Raptors in foul trouble early to fuck up their defense and the rotation and the way they like to do things. And it was Fred last night. And it sucks. Because like I said, I didn't even see the fouls. So I don't even know if they were real fouls or not. Summer saw them. She's saying they were bullshit. And, I wish I had seen them, but I was fucking watching the end of the fucking Memphis, Minnesota game on ESPN instead of fucking watching the Raptors game, which was supposed to be on the fucking stream I was watching. So I was kind of pissed about that in itself there. Tom Duke saying that big oaf bully. Yeah, listen, Tom, I was like saying such nice things about him this week. Like, I respect him and stuff. Like, now I don't want the fucking big asshole to win the MVP. Go ahead and give it the other goon, fucking Jokic, and the other side now. Yeah, I changed my vote as of last night just because of how dirty he played. You are 7'2" something. You are the biggest fucking guy on the court, and you're going to play so fucking dirty? That is wrong. You're not supposed to do that. Jimmy Pope saying, I don't think he initially meant to step on his ankle, but he put his whole weight on it. Kind of suspect. That is a good point, Jimmy. And, there were a couple of things that happened before that. Like the whole thing with Maxey, when Maxey ran into the screen of Scottie and he kind of pushed him, and then he was walking over him a little bit, and then Joel pushed him back over him. There was a lot of weird physicalness in this game at different times. Like the push that Pascal had when he was sitting, he pushed him, and then he got up, and then Joel pushed him back. These referees didn't necessarily have very good control of the game last night. There was a lot of chippy, bad shit that happened this game that maybe they should have been more on top of. I'm really disappointed in Kane Fitzgerald. I'm very disappointed in Bill Kennedy. I feel like these guys didn't do the professional job that they normally do. And that makes me think that the head office had them have directives, that they got the bulletin points in between before the game. They're like, get one of the Raptors in very serious foul trouble right away. Let him do whatever the fuck he wants. If they breathe on him, get him to the foul line. And, the foul shots were pretty even for most of the game, but at some point they got like way more free throws and they ended up getting like 10 more free throw attempts than us. There's a lot of team stats that really tell why we lost this game last night. Like one of the ones that's really important is that they got 2 more field goal attempts than us. They got 84 shots on the goal and we only got 82. And that's something we always excel at, getting like 10 plus more shots than them, manufacturing more shots. Well, Doc Rivers had a goal to not let us get extra shots by keeping us off the offensive glass and not turning the ball over. And they did a damn good job. I mean, when do we lose the turnover battle? We had 8 turnovers last night. They only had 4. And those 4 turnovers happened in the second half. And some of them happened at the very end of the game when it was already over. So they did an exceptional job of taking care of the ball. And that's going to take a lot of tape and adjustments. The Raptors are going to be watching today, figuring stuff out to see how they can be more disruptive to this Philadelphia offense that did way better than they should have did last night. Oh my gosh, they should have done way, way better than they did last night. But yeah, that is an interesting thing to observe, Jimmy, that he did put his full weight on it. Let's just hope and pray that there's not serious injury here, that maybe Scottie can still play in this playoff and that he'll be fine. He has a lot of things on his side. He's very young. He's a very healthy, strong kind of guy, and he may have a quick bounce back or something like this. But we need to make sure and see, because the long term is way more important than the short term as far as with this playoff run. This is really a tester, a taster, and trying to find out what we could do in the playoffs. But, tough first game, but this is normal for Raptors history. We lose the first game of a playoff series and we find ways to win it still. It's a chess match and chess is on. And this is the other thing. They're holding serve. They have to win in their home court. They have to do what they did last night, because if they don't, it all dismantles right away for them. And that's what I'm saying. Just because it went down the way it did last night doesn't mean that's the way the series is going to go, because it could still dismantle for them at any fucking moment. And I don't care. People are saying, oh, you don't have Scottie, you don't have Thad anymore. We have next man up mentality. And this is the thing. We still have very important key players. And if Scottie Barnes and Thad Young cannot play again in this series, we will be fine in some ways because we will bring guys up. We will put Precious in that starting lineup instead of Scottie. We will see Yuta Watanabe step into the lineup because Thad is out. And we'll hopefully see great things from these guys getting extra time because other guys are out. Next man up mentality is going to be so important in this one for sure. GMA G84 is saying, good to see a new name also. We're here every morning, 9:30 a.m. sharp. I'm starting at Eastern time. That's my new start time. You can depend on me every morning, 9:30. If you want to talk Raptors, you come to YouTube, Raptor Freak channel. We will talk it. GMA saying he was arrogant in 2019, and he is doing it again in 2022. We need to hit back hard next game. Yeah, everybody talks about the airplane thing from 2019. I conveniently forget about it because it was so laughable and silly, and it turned on him. But you're right. This is the same dude. He's a fucking punk. His his facial expressions, the way he's looking on the crowd, and he's like doing all this kind of bullshit like this. Yeah, you're right, GMA. And you're exactly right. We need to hit them back in the face. One of the people I was not happy with last night was Pascal Siakam. Pascal, you've got to be more aggressive and more of a leader earlier in the game. Like when things were going bad and things were starting off not so good, Scottie was the guy who's treading water for us and taking care of things. But we needed you to step up and go up for it and get it. Now, you ended up with pretty good numbers by the end of the night, 24 points and, 50% shooting. That's great. But you didn't do enough early to establish when they were punching us in the face to counterpunch them back. And that's what we really need to do is we need to understand they just took the first swing. This is very much like the first game of the season against the Washington Wizards where they came out and punked us and punched us in the face. And then you know what happened in our second game against Boston in Boston? We went out and punched that team in the face. So there's a little bit of get back. Yeah. And once again, we got to remember what the goal is for these first two games in Philadelphia is to steal one on their court. And they are supposed to win the games in Philadelphia. That is them holding serve. This was expected. In fact, if they had not won the game last night, that would have been really, really bad for Philadelphia, a complete disaster. And now everybody's saying, oh, this is a complete disaster for Toronto. No, it's not. This is one game, and this is a game that Philadelphia was supposed to win, and they did. And now they have another game on Monday that they're supposed to win. Well, let's see if we can fuck that up on Monday because it's a game-by-game thing. This is what they were talking about, being even-keeled. Don't go on too low on your lows and don't go too high on your highs. You got to take this loss, take the L because you earned it, but then you move on. You look at the tape. You decide and find out where you could improve, do things better, maybe be more of the aggressor. Maybe be more the person who is putting them on their heels and getting your baskets in their face and different things like that. That is what we're going to see. And like Nick Nurse said in his post-game conference, he said, now we got to find out what this character of this team is all about. Are they going to make the adjustments mentally, physically, and then the way to make the game change out there? Or are they going to be a team that just takes this and then we're out and that's it? So he's testing his team for their mettle. Testing his team for how they respond to adversity and problems. And that's very interesting and stuff because they've done this in the past. Like in 2019, we had these kind of games. We had these kind of overreactions or worries or chicken littling after games like this. And we came back and we showed something else, a counterpunch. We showed something else where we're like, we're still competing. We're still in this, even if y'all are all saying we're dead. Because there's a lot of NBA people out there. Everybody's saying, oh, we were right, and all this shit. People are coming to me and saying, oh, you guys are done because Scottie's out. I don't believe that kind of shit. That's one fucking player on our team, and that's a rookie. There's a lot of guys on our team, and they can do a lot of different things. And there is next man up mentality. But I hope he's ready and he'll be back. So we'll see. Tom Duke is saying Sixer fans celebrate like it's over. That's wrong. And exactly, let them get overconfident. This is a very long series. I'm going to tell them right now. You guys, if you think you already won the series, or you think that you've seen everything you need to see and understand that you think you won, you're sadly mistaken. Because we got Nick Nurse, we got Fred VanVleet, we got Pascal Siakam, we got guys that are going to make the adjustment and have pride, and they do not want to go out like punks. They do not want to go out in a 4-game series with games like last night, 4 in a row. No, they don't. You don't think we're going to fucking put up a fight? You don't think we're going to put everything on the court tomorrow night when we play them in game 2 in Philadelphia? We are going to fucking come out there and be a totally different team in the next game. We will be. And if we aren't, then so be it. We deserve to lose. Because that's how it is basically right now. It's like either you take the losses and you just go home, or you change and you fight and you get in there and you do exactly what they did to you back to them then to the next game. That's what I'm saying. They shouldn't expect their team to do so fucking well again. Like, we are not going to let Tyrese Maxey go crazy like that again for almost 40 points. There's no fucking way we'll let them do that. We will figure out a way to stop that man. And this is the thing. We did a really good job on Joel Embiid last night. We actually did a very good job on him. He only got 19 points. We limited him. He missed a lot of his shots and different things like that. The one thing that Joel was proud of last night, and I listened to his post-game interview, was that he didn't cause any turnovers for his team. And that is something he's never done in the history of him against the Toronto Raptors. That was a huge accomplishment for himself. Because that is true. One of the ways we do really well against Philadelphia is we get on Harden, we get on Embiid, we get them to turn the ball over, and we get easy points off of them that way. And Joel did not cough the ball up. He took care of the ball really well. And that was Doc Rivers' plan, was take care of the ball and beat us on the boards. And they did it on both of them. And then they hit their threes too. And that was just fucking, it was all, everything that could go wrong. We honestly should have lost by like 40 or 50 fucking points, but we only lost by 20. And that doesn't even matter either. It really doesn't. Because even if we were down for most of the game, this way the season's been, we could be down by 18 in the third quarter and still fucking come back and win games. So Doc Rivers was sweating in the second half still, even with that kind of margin the whole time. In fact, he said in his press conference that they played horrible in the third quarter at times because they let us come back on these 12-1 runs and shit like that, and that he wasn't happy with that. So, listen, it's a mixed bag of things. Ultimately, they got the win last night, but that's just one game. And these games can be very different at different games. This is just how the playoffs are. Adjustments, the chess of it, and stuff like that, for sure. Leslie Hart is here. Good to see Leslie as usual. The Raptors rarely lose by 20. Is Nick Nurse strategizing? He is a chess player. DOC showed his game plan. Doc, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly kind of what I'm talking about right now. It's really going to be a lot of watching tape. They're going to really watch and see how Maxey did so much last night and really figure out good schemes for how to limit him or slow him down or just try and do different things to stop him. And I believe in them. Like, I know that Fred getting in foul trouble kind of hurt. And maybe there was some problems with not playing like Armani or Malachi as a defensive backup for Fred. I saw OG guarding Maxey late, and he was doing okay at times. But this is the thing. That's a wily kid, and he is some guts. And he is a baller. He is taking it to us and stuff like that. And we need to stop that. We really, really need to stop that. Maxey, I'm really impressed with him. Like, I hate the other guys on their team, but he is somebody that I have to just respect because he is a badass, honestly. And the Philadelphia 76er fans should be so happy and proud to have him on their team, seriously, because he is something else. I'm not gonna lie. GMA saying Scottie and Thaddeus x-rays came back negative. This is great initial news. I know they'll do deeper imaging today, and hopefully these will show good things, and hopefully they can bounce back quickly. Like I said, youth is on the side of Scottie Barnes. This is like the kind of thing, like, listen, I did something yesterday with Philly Fan on the stream where we prayed for nobody to get hurt. I'm never going to do that again because I don't do that kind of shit. And then I see what happened in the game last night. We're not doing that anymore. I'm sorry. As much as that's a nice sentiment and things like that, it showed me that, yeah, don't do that, Lex, because it's kind of a bad jinx, I guess, in some way. So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm just going to do it privately off the show on my own without anybody else like I normally do. Because when I did it on the stream, it was bad because we ended up getting 2 important players hurt last night. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Jimmy Pope saying, I hope the Raptors come back Monday with the fire under them, and Embiid trying to hurt our players. A lot of phantom calls influencing the flow of the game. We go on a run, and a weird call kind of sucks. Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of like, listen, it wasn't even on both sides. The refs obviously had an agenda in some ways to really help the Sixers. And there was a really lot of ugly play and a lot of stuff that was allowed. And then there was just stupid shit. Like some of the fouls on Chris Boucher last night were so fucked up and like, what the fuck? Like he didn't do anything. Like it's almost like they did specifically target Chris and Fred to have foul trouble in the game last night. And that could be very calculated by the NBA, like deciding, well, we can help Philly if we get Fred and Chris out of the series. Because Chris is the kind of player that really hurts Philadelphia. He's had huge games against Philadelphia, and his foul trouble last night really hurt our bench and our ability to kind of do some things last night. And then Fred, him being our only point guard and only player like him, and Maxey on the other side, that's very calculated by the referees. That you put early foul trouble on these guys so they're not available in our game, it really hurt us. And that's one of the things that referees did to influence the game last night. Like the NBA narrative is that they don't want the Raptors to sweep the Sixers. So one of the things that they do first thing is make sure the Sixers win the first game for sure, at least. Now, hopefully what we can see is maybe a little bit more balance with the calls because it was super, super biased for Philadelphia. And sometimes that's the way they even it out. They may give one game really good bias to one team, and then the next game, because they want it to be more competitive, they'll actually give favor to us. And that's what we got to hope for too, is that the refs are actually fair or more even like more on our side and maybe against them in some ways in games in the series to come. But yeah, getting these young and Scottie back better and healthy, and then maybe hopefully getting more favor from the refs. I'm really disappointed in the ref crew last night. They were some of my favorite refs, and they pissed me the fuck off. Like seriously. Isla Flop is saying we expected a playoff whistle, but no, it was only a playoff whistle for one team. That is it was a playoff whistle for one team. Like they were letting them do so much. Like some of the stuff that they got away with without any kind of call, and even actually they flip it and call the foul on Chris, even though he was the one who got fucking run over. Shit like that. It was so messed up in different ways. And like Nick said in the press conference afterwards, it's like if they're not going to call, like if our defender gets in between Joel in the basket when he's driving and we are our feet set, we're out of the restricted area, we're not moving, and he just runs us over and there's no call, then we're not going to be able to fucking win. Because that is an offensive charge, and they're not even calling it. They're just letting him run right over us or hit us right in the face. They let him run roughshod all over our team last night, and that was like not fair. It really wasn't fair in a lot of ways. But also in the same token, one of the things we have to say is our team did not match their energy. Our team did not come out and punch them in the face first. Our team did not fight hard enough. Like we should have been doing way better from trying to get aggressive with getting them to turn the ball over. And then also the boards battle. We just have to win the boards battle. We have to win it. We can't have guys like Danny Green sneaking in and getting a little offensive tip in like for his only 2 points of the game. That symbolized a lot to me. When I saw Danny Green get that offensive rebound and put back, I was like, what the fuck is this? We're letting Danny Green get on the offensive boards on us? That is really bad because that means somebody was out of position and did not get the assignment to try and cover our defensive rebound. And I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Jimmy Pope saying, we did play really bad, but come on, so much you can do when all things are going against you. Well, that's just what we have to expect. That sometimes we have to be that much better, like that much better. There were some weird things that I noticed, like there's something wrong with Gary Trent Jr. last night. I'm not sure if he's feeling sick or what. Like to me, he looked hungover. And I hate to say that. Like when you were moving around or looking like that, to me, that looked like he had been out drinking or he had. I'm just going off of speculation. I don't know if this is true. But his body and the way he was carrying himself out there last night did not look right. And it could be that we find out that he's actually sick right now or something like that because he does not look like he's feeling good. It's so weird because we're saying he's vibing, he's smiling this whole week, and he seems like he's in the zone and all this kind of stuff. And then he comes out last night and he looked anemic. He looked like he was like not strong. He looked weak. And he didn't look like he had it in some ways last night, which was really bad for us because we needed Gary badly last night. And he was missing way too much. and just not a factor as much as you need to. 9 points is not going to cut it, Gary Trent Jr. And I don't know why you were looking so weak or something like that. If you were doing any kind of nightlife, you need to fucking cut that shit out. And also, if it's like you're not feeling well, I hope you just get better quicker, is what I'm saying. But there was something wrong with Gary last night. He didn't look right at all. Okay, let's see. Let me make sure I get these right. Yeah, let's do that. That's gonna work. All right, I just want to make sure I get everybody's stuff that they say. Leslie is saying we are used to not getting the majority of the calls. That's nothing new. Yeah, we're sometimes used to playing 5-on-8. That's just a normal thing. Tom Duke's saying they only had 3 turnovers. They had 4 altogether. One was late. And in particular, Joel Embiid did not cause any turnovers for their team, that's not normal. Normally we get him and Harden to turn the ball over like crazy. And we didn't do that. We didn't do that at all. The only turnovers they got last night, they had 3. Oh, yeah, you're right. They did only have 3 turnovers. Although the team stat says they had 4. I think that's because they had a team turnover is what they did. So there was 1 on Harris, 1 on Harden, and 1 on Isaiah Joe. That's no good. We got to get way more turnovers on them. Like they're not that good at protecting the ball or taking care of the ball. We should have been on them and getting more done. But then again, like we said, the referees handcuff us when they call touch fouls and they don't allow us to have the same kind of physicality that they're allowing them have on the other end of the court. And that's really a big part of it. The Boucher, not to mention the quick 3 fouls by Chris Boucher, Jimmy Pope saying that was a huge factor because they've seen throughout this course of the games against Philadelphia this year that Chris Boucher has been a very effective player for us in different ways and stuff like that. Tom Duke saying not related to our game, but hey, how about that lady who tried to super glue herself to the floor at the Wolves game? Listen, I know what they're protesting about, and I actually support them. I don't think what they're doing is wrong. I think what they're doing is very American and is right. Because honestly, the owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves, he has some fucked up connection to like animal cruelty. And these are PETA people that are chaining themselves and doing this kind of stuff. I am all for them. I would say fight the power in every kind of way. If they feel strongly about this and the owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves, I support them. I'm not like all these other people that are coming down on them or calling them lunatics or fringe people or shit like that. I understand why they're doing it. And I applaud them. I mean, it takes a lot of guts to go out there and hold up a game with a chain and you around there and have a lot of people pissed off at you. And I know they're going to throw the book at them, all this stuff, but this is to me that they're the little guy fighting the power. And I will support them every time because they have a just cause in some ways. And, this is the kind of thing we need to do as a little guy to fight the powers that be in different ways. That there is a problem with what's happening with the owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves, and they want to shine a light on it. Kudos to them. That's what I say. They're going to get arrested. They're going to get charges and all this kind of stuff. And to them, it's worth it. So I honestly, I'm not against them. I'm not negative about them or anything. I say good for them. And if they continue to do it, I would not be upset. Because honestly, this is the way you get attention on issues that matter. Is you do things like what they're doing. So I'm not against what they did. It's very interesting what they did, Tom Duke. Leslie saying the doc comes in the room for 5 minutes, but the nurse takes care of the business. I think Nick Nurse threw the same defense towards Philly because he wanted to see Doc's cards. That's a very interesting strategy that you're putting forth, Leslie, that what Nick Nurse is saying. He wanted to see the best of what the Philly team has, and then now we're going to adjust and shut it all down. Like just going to pull down the screen and say, you're closed for the day now. Yeah, I hope you're right. And that, that Nick Nurse, he's the kind of guy. This is the thing. This is what they said. You can't go too high or too low, no matter what's happening. That's the way Fred was after the game. This is a long series, is what he said. There's a lot of adjusting and chess playing to go. And Philly, you may have just played your best hand right there. I don't think you can play that perfect again for the rest of the series. Like you honestly did play a perfect game last night, Philadelphia. And I have to applaud you guys because you did really play way better than I've ever seen you play this whole season. And if you can play perfect for 4 games in a row and put us out, then kudos to you. But I don't think you can. I think that this may be your best game of the whole series. And then it's going to be all downhill from here from you. I seriously believe that because you had to do this. This is your first game on home court. You have to protect your home court. You lose your first game and you're fucked already with the Raptors. And you got to do the same thing on Monday also. So they really say the series does not start until a away team wins on the other team's court. And that has not happened yet. So this is according to plan. You're holding serve. You have serve right now. You've won the first game. You got to make sure you win that second game. And we don't steal one of the games in Philadelphia because you're still in a grave danger. And in a lot of ways, you guys have way more pressure on you than we do still, even if we've lost the first game in the series. And we've seen the Raptors adjust and get over the hump, even being down in series left and right. Like we can be down 0-2 and we can still win this series. Like we lose tomorrow in Philadelphia, I'm not going to say we're done. Like a lot of people are going to say, oh, the Raptors are done. No, I'm not. Because the reality of it is this is a long series. You got to get all four to put us out. And I don't see that. I don't see that still. I still think that we're a good enough team and talented enough, even with these possible injuries that we have going on right now. It just means next man up. Somebody else can get more minutes. We may see Precious Achiuwa go crazy. And that one dunk he wanted to get, oh my gosh, I wish that had gone down because that was badass. And that is exactly what I'm talking about. When you put Joel Embiid on Precious Achiuwa, he will go right around him and try and dunk it on them. Oh, yeah, he will. Isla Flop saying Gary Trent Jr. is one of my favorite players on the team, but he's getting into the habit of crumpling to the floor after every contested shot. It really hurts us in defensive transition. Yeah, I agree with that. That has hurt us recently, where he's like laying on the ground after a shot, trying to get the foul call. That's not going to happen, Gary. You just need to keep going. And the other thing was that he hurt us too last night with his offensive foul. And I know it may be petty shit. He's shooting the three and he kicked his leg out and they called an offensive foul on him. I hate that call. That's the James Harden call right there. But yeah, Gary did not have a good night last night. Hopefully he's motivated to show something more tomorrow night. And maybe he is sick. Hopefully he'll feel better over the next day or so and he'll come out and look more energetic, a little more like he's with it because he did. He looked very weak for some reason last night. There was something wrong with him. And I don't know if we'll ever find out what was wrong with him last night, but I just hope that he can bounce back and show strength and aggressiveness and making his shot consistently tomorrow night. Tom Duke saying, I painfully watched that Scottie injury a bunch of times. Embiid stepped unnaturally and with authority, almost like a little bully smashing a castle in the sand. Wow. Yeah, I hate to think that, but you know what? You're right in some ways. Like what Jimmy's saying, he put his full weight on it and stuff like that. You can do things to avoid it. There was this kind of is led up to from that Maxey thing that I'm talking about, where he did that screen and Maxey got hit hard and he was on the ground and then Scottie was going to walk over him and Joel pushed him before he could walk over him. Like there was already a lot of chippiness and a lot of shit talking and all kinds of stuff. And the thing that pissed me off the most about Joel Embiid last night is he's getting all these calls. He's getting all these favoritism. He's absolutely beating our guys up, literally. And then he's still fucking whining about not getting calls to go his way on the other end. I'm like, fuck you, you big fucking ugly giant piece of shit. Like you're fucking getting all the calls. Everything's rolled out like a red carpet for you. And you're fucking still complaining about every little fucking thing on the court. I'm like, fuck you, Joel Embiid. Like seriously, my respect went right out the window watching the game last night. It's like, nah, this is not how an NBA MVP plays. That you got to play like that to fucking win. Like seriously, they could have won this game without all the ugliness. They didn't need to do all the physical and the trying to hurt people and put them out kind of shit. They could have won coasting on Maxey's badassery and fucking shit like that. They did not have to fucking put the insult of the injuries into this fucking game last night. And that's what I'm saying. I hate to think that Joel Embiid purposefully tried to hurt Scottie Barnes last night, but it really fucking looks like that right now to me. And I hate that. And maybe there'll be something that'll come back around and hit him in the ass for this in some sort of way. Oh, yeah. Click 2 AM saying Scottie's health is more important than this series. If he's out for the season, so be it. I didn't want him to get another injury by playing on it. Raptors need to be smart here. This is perspective. This is the voice of reason. This is Click 2 AM once again. At different points in the season, Click has come in and just been a really wise soul. And Click is being it right now here. And I am in complete 100% agreement with him. Let's not try and force him to play or rush him back if it can be detrimental to him long term. We have to keep this all different perspectives, the short-term perspective, the long-term perspective, and Click is exactly right. Scottie's health as a player for his future is way more important than us trying to win this series. But hey, why not try and win this series even if we can't play with Scottie? That's what I'm saying. We played all year with key guys missing. And in some ways, I hate to say it, some more important key guys missing. Scottie, in some ways, is gravy on top of a lot of things. Sure, he's a really great added bonus, and he does really help us win with winning plays and doing different stuff. But also, he is not an absolutely essential player for us to win. And a lot of fans of other teams and NBA places are trying to say that today. Oh, Scottie's out. You guys have lost. Well, no, motherfucker, that's not how the Raptors work. We're like a hydra. You cut one head off the hydra and another head grows right out of it right away. That just means Precious Achiuwa is coming in the starting lineup, and we're going to see Precious play more. And then it's going to bump everybody else up from the bench. Now, it doesn't get that good, but this is the kind of opportunity that people like Isaac Bonga, people like Yuta Watanabe, they may get a chance, Delano Banton, to get out there and make some big plays and get some good trust and get them back in the rotation. This may be exactly what Takeshi needed for Yuta to be involved and get some Japanese media buzz going. That's what I'm talking about, because that's what Nick said. It's like these guys are the next man up. And if we need next man up kind of guys for Thad and Scottie in game 2, these are guys who are going to come in and they're try their best. We'll see what happens. So, yeah, I'm with Click completely on his stance with Scottie's injury. We do not want to rush him in. We do not want him to get even more hurt or any kind of stuff. We don't need to do bullshit like Golden State did in the 2019 finals where they tried to bring Kevin Durant back out. There's none of this kind of shit. Let Scottie be fully, completely ready. And like that's why I'm with Click completely. And Jimmy's saying exactly to Tom as far as like the thing with Embiid purposefully stepping on him. Tom Duke saying you definitely called Maxey going off. Harris scoring 26 last night. His average of 26 versus the Raptors hurt. Yuta was our only positive plus minus. That's true. I looked at that. Yuta was the only person we were winning the time he was on the court. And he was the only positive at the moment from last night. You know, Scottie was a positive in himself before he got hurt. Like, seriously, he was 2 assists away from a triple-double last night in his first ever playoff game. And in fact, I think he might have tried to get it. That one pass he had to Chris when he cut underneath the basket, and he just threw it right to him, and he dunked it. That was fantastic. That is the kind of playmaking and stuff that I love to see from Scottie. Like, I felt like we need to run our offense through Scottie, like, regularly. Like, I was starting to see him like Marc Gasol in 2019 in the high post where you give the ball to him at the top and you let him decide what he wants to do, what like Mark used to do, where he could just pass it to whoever because he has that kind of vision. And that may be something he develops into more and more as a facilitator in the high post to cutters and different people around the basket, that our offense needs to run through him at the high post. I really like that idea in the future. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, I did call Maxey going off. I mean, I said that's the guy I worry about the most, just because he is such a baller's mentality. He showed stuff like last night. He showed his whole bag of tricks, and he was pretty perfect last night. Like, I really got to give kudos to Maxey. Seriously, like I liked him more after the game. That's the way you want it to be. Like with the Sixers, it's like you want, if I'm going to love and respect you because you beat us because of your play and not because of your thuggery. And that's why respect for Maxey went up last night and respect for Embiid went down last night. Oh, yeah, that's the difference right there. Jimmy Pub saying Scottie most likely won't be back in the series unless we get real lucky. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I mean, like I said, he has youth on his side. He has a weird ability to probably maybe just heal really fast or something like that. Who knows? Maybe it's not even as bad as it looked. There's all kinds of things that we can hope and pray for as Raptor fans. But ultimately, we need to have the mentality that Click has. That what's more important, the long term or just the short term, probably not realistic, like championship run that's going on right now. It's just how it is. Isla Flops saying, yep, a series begins when someone loses at home. That's exactly right. So as soon as a home team loses, then the series begins. Callie saying, wow, I've never been so upset. Heard our rookie and couldn't breathe on their players without refs blowing the whistles. Yeah, it was really frustrating. I don't think that Callie has a stress meter anymore. She has an anger meter. And I bet Callie's anger meter was pretty off the chart last night. I think mine was to a degree also. I was trying to take this all in last night with the right kind of perspective and not chicken little, not overreact, not get super, super negative or bogged down in this, and like take this in the right perspective, like the players would. Like they know they have work to do and adjustments to do, and they need to do all kinds of work and stuff like that in between game one and game two. And that's what we've got to see. They get another chance tomorrow to steal a game on the Philadelphia court. And that's the thing. That's the reality of it. As well as Philadelphia played last night and as perfect as played last night, that may not carry over game to game. That may be just last night. And that we need to realize that. All right, random gamers here. I'm going to give him the due and the credit to listen to him this morning because he's been so respectful. Let's see what he's saying. He's saying hashtag Phila Unite. So happy about yesterday. Sucks to see Scottie go down. I can see the pain in his eyes. Really heartbreaking. Yeah, random gamer. Thanks for being respectful and being a good winner in this way. Because like honestly, Chip from the Bucks Nation's in here talking shit this morning. I had to fucking hide him from the channel now. So he's going to be gone because we don't need to hear from Bucks fan. We'll hear from Sixer fan, especially Sixer fan that's fair. Yeah, you know what? Listen, this is great for y'all's franchise. I know that Philadelphia fan feels really good right now. And I love that you guys had that in a way. Not that it's at our expense, but really, I got to give a lot of kudos today, obviously to Tyrese Maxey, but also to Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers prepared your team in an exceptional way. He had them really do a perfect job for the antidote for us and the things that we like to do. And you know what? Doc may be saving his job in Philadelphia if he can continue to pull this kind of stuff off in the playoffs. But yeah, congratulations. You guys got a home win. And it was, you know what? You're hearing what I'm saying about the game and stuff like that. I can respect Maxey for what he did, and I can respect Doc Rivers for what he did. But there's other players that were involved in things that happened last night that I can't respect. I cannot respect. And specifically the referees and Joel Embiid. Really, really bad stuff with them. But I appreciate you worried about Scottie Barnes. It's never good to see a guy like him. And I feel so weird because we did this prayer yesterday, and I'm never going to do that on my stream again. Because obviously if I do that, something shitty like this happens. So I'm not doing that no more. But yeah, you know what? I respect Philly fan and random gamer. I'm glad you guys have something to cheer about. Let's play it out. You know this is a 7-game series. I mean, there's best of 7. So we'll have to see how it goes out. I mean, you know, obviously, I don't think that the Raptors are going to be so easy in the next game. That's for sure. Like if they are, then I'm going to be pissed off. I'm going to be pissed off as a Raptor fan at my own team if they're going to roll over and let the Sixers beat us like this easy in the series. So respect random gamer, and you guys deserve the win last night. You guys were the way better team last night, and like I said, I have to really respect Doc Rivers for his game plan and how they executed it. They did a fantastic job with the boards and not allowing turnovers. They did a really fantastic job. That's amazing how well they did. Callie saying Pascal and Gary disappeared. Yeah, they didn't show up in time. Like Pascal showed up a bit in the second half and started making his stats looking better, but in the first half he didn't do absolutely anything for us as a leader. And it really was Maxey came out and I'm like, I'm the best player on this court. It's not even fucking Joel Embiid. It's not James Harden. It's Tyrese Maxey. I'm the best player on this court, and I'm going to establish this in this game and get whatever the fuck I want. And they really want to get him those 40 points. But we stopped them from getting the 40 points at least. Good job, Yuta Watanabe, shutting down Tyrese Maxey at the very end to not let him get the 40 piece. That was pretty cool, actually. All right, G's here. G saying refs really babied the bully. Yeah. Sixers played well and limited their turnovers, but the refs need both teams get physical, and that's the style they want. Yeah, I don't like how they try and control us, and then they're not trying to control them. Like, it really was bad. Like, Joel, you're so big, and you have big elbows. You can really hurt people. Like, you're a big dude. And, like, it's too bad that you're doing this right now. I understand that maybe it's a rite of passage in your eyes that from your past years in the playoffs, you've been hit and you've gotten hurt and injured and been put out. And that you're at the stage 7 years into your career that you're now ready to be the vet that's doling that out to the youngsters coming up underneath him. And that's really what I saw it as. Like, this is a different kind of thuggish kind of Joel Embiid than I've ever seen before. I've never seen him be so dirty with hitting people straight up in the face. Like Nick Nurse said, he threw like 3 or 4 elbows last night into our Raptor players' faces. That's very dangerous, especially when you're throwing an elbow at a man who had his nose smashed into his face earlier this season, Cam Birch, and stuff like that. So, yeah, they were babying him in a way that was just not fair, because already this guy has so many advantages in different ways. It's like you need this extra three-man advantage team to help you also. It sucks. Rank Scrub saying our guys need to start making bank shots. They're missing from everywhere because they're struggling to shoot the ball over the rim. Yeah, I like what you're saying. There's a lot of short shots where they're just trying to make it and it just comes short before. We just need to make shots in general. Like, there was a lot of different things that we didn't do well last night. We were the team that was slower. We were the team that didn't get after the ball fast enough. We were the team that got hit in the face and then like didn't recover from it. That's just how it went last night. And sometimes games are just like that. Some nights that team really had it last night. Like, there were all kinds of great things going for them. Like, if you tell me that Tyrese Maxey is going to get almost 40 points, James Harden is going to get almost 30, Tobias Harris is going to get 26, and Joel Embiid was going to do what he was going to do, I was like, yeah, they're going to probably beat us, because we can't allow that many of their top players to go off like that. It's one thing that Maxey did that and Embiid did some good stuff, but no Harden and Harris for sure. Like, Harris really hurt us in a lot of different ways. They used him really well, getting the passes and stuff. And once again, Harden was really passing really well last night. And that was the factor he was doing. But also he was showing a little bit of his old stuff too, by hitting the step back three here and there. And then like just trying to drive and getting so much attention when he goes anywhere towards the basket, that he's really good at just passing it to the right guy that gets the shot. Like, he gives it to them in the right rhythm. I forget that James Harden played as a point guard for many years in his career, that he does really have point guard skills, that he was one of the guys who was one of the leaders in assists in a couple of his seasons of his career. Like, he would be like around 10 assists for Houston back in the day. And he's really showing that kind of skill. And in some ways, he's the point guard and Maxey's the shooting guard when you're looking at their lineup and stuff like that. Very interesting. But we definitely need to come out more physical and punch them in the face ourselves this time. Yeah, and even if we get the calls or anything, we just need to do it just to show we're not going to be pushed around, because that was messed up in different ways like that. And yeah, it is really weird, ugly game in some ways. Rank Scrub saying our guys need to start okay, I just read that one. Yeah, we're talking about that. I've already blocked out this motherfucker. I'm not talking to him no more. G saying to Chip, Raptors lose game one all the time. Didn't Bucks lose by 40 to the Nets and ended up winning it all? That's what I'm saying. These guys are such creatures of the moment and what's happening right now. That's part of why you can't be like this in the playoffs, is you can't sit and feel what you're feeling too hard for too long. You got to keep moving. You got to adjust. You got to keep scheming and making the changes and doing the things to try and make your team have a better chance to win. And that's the thing that we do really well. Like, that is like internally in the Raptors team right now, they're not chicken littling. They're not like, oh my gosh, they're seeing, okay, yeah, Scottie got hurt, Thad got hurt. This is bad. But we have confidence in ourselves that we're going to make the adjustment. We have confidence in our coach that he's going to give us the right plan, that we're going to have a better outcome when we come out on the court on Monday night. And the playoffs are like this. This one way that we do have good playoff experience is understanding the rigmarole and the ups and downs of it. And this guy, I don't understand why he's coming in here trying to kick us while we're down. When he has nothing to fucking do with it, this fucking guy. Like, honestly, seriously, Chip, just go fuck off, man. I am gonna ban you from this channel because you have no place here. Like, if we were playing y'all and you came in here and talked to us, and we had a good discourse like we have had with Jo and Random Gamer, then I'd be like, yeah, you're welcome here, but you're not. You're just a fucking fuck from fucking Milwaukee, and you can fuck right off. Your team is in a small market. You're so lucky you have Giannis. You're so lucky you got that championship last year. Don't expect any more, seriously. Rank Scrub saying, if Embiid gets called for that early forearm to the nose of Birch, he gets ejected on the Scottie play, which was exactly the same, and he never steps on Scottie late game. That's a lot of woulda, coulda, shoulda that could have happened. You're right. then maybe they'd never do that though. Obviously, they fucking foul Fred out, one of our most important players, with so much time on the clock, but they would never do that. And the reason why is because NBA marketing and the star. You can't have an MVP candidate leave the game because of 2 dirty plays. So let him have 1 dirty play for free right off the bat. Oh, but he got a second one. Oh, well, that's a little too egregious. Then give him the flagrant on that. You're exactly right, Rank Scrub. That if they were calling it down the middle, they probably would have ejected Joel Embiid for the Scottie Barnes hit, the second one, because the one on Kem Birch was just the same. It was almost the exact same play in some ways. And you're right. And then that would have changed things completely, and Scottie wouldn't have got stepped on. You're right. You're exactly right. But this is how it all went down. And this is like what we got to react to today and hopefully pick ourselves up and come back swinging. This is what I'm saying. G saying, I don't care about the loss. Game 1 is the norm for us. Multiple injured players is a problem. Yeah. Yeah, I'm with him on this. Like, in some ways, I expected us to lose last night because that's what Philadelphia had to do. Like, they really, really had to do. They took care of the pressure that was on them. And now the pressure is still kind of still on them. Like, your game 2 is going to be just as fucking pressurized that they need to win that also. So, yeah. And Embiid saying, G saying, if Embiid got hit in the face like Birch did, guarantee the refs would have reviewed it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad that they actually did go review the Scottie one and actually made the right call. They had to, because it's so egregiously apparent that that was a dirty play. Like, he hit him in the face. He like came with his finger into his eye. And that's why Scottie's holding his face like this after that. And the fact that Scottie's the one who's getting all the abuse is telling right there and then. It's like, is it targeted that you're trying to take out our great rookie or something like that? Is really weird. All right, let's see. Rank Scrub saying facts. Ansom's here. Ansom's saying Freddie got his first foul literally 2-3 seconds in the game. Shaking my head. See, I didn't even see that. I was fucking watching the end of the fucking Memphis-Minnesota game, and they didn't even show. I didn't even see that stuff. That he got his first foul 2 or 3 seconds in the game. That is fucked up, and that is seriously very sketchy to me. Oh, yeah. G saying doesn't matter. If refs actually allow fair play, we could see Pascal and Fred rise, but instead they got in foul trouble early. Let them both play physical, and we will see. Yeah, I like this. They should be like, but what I'm saying too is like, and this has happened in the past in the playoffs for us, is that some games are very biased against us. And then all of a sudden the next game, it's like they open the door and they're like, hey, we're going to help you this game. And it may be partly that the NBA wants more revenue from TV, that they sometimes draw out series to get 7 games in, because each one of those games is a money maker. You have 7-game series going on. That is more money to be made for the home crowd and having operations and people coming in, ticket sales, for ratings, more everything. So sometimes the refs do manipulate series to be long series on purpose. And it's for revenue. Extra games means more revenue is what I'm saying. And that could be part of it. It's like they'll even it out by saying, okay, we gave the Sixers help in this game. We're going to give the Raptors help in game 2. And then we'll go back and forth like that. It could be like that. Every other game, we're going to give help to one team. That kind of thing. Because I've seen that happen in past series in different ways. All right, let's see. Rank Scrub saying we got to get hands on Embiid and wrestle him every step up the court. Don't even let him walk in a straight line. I'd love to see some dirty shit from Precious and from Kem and these guys that are still left in this game. I want to see them get some get back against Joel Embiid. Like, they need to show that this is not okay how he fucking bullied us or did shit to us in the first game. Like, seriously, if we take a cheap shot at Joel Embiid next game, I'm not going to be upset. And even if it's dirty and it looks really bad, I don't give a fuck, because this is exactly what this motherfucker did in the first game. And that's what I'm saying with that. Yeah. G saying, honestly, I'm one to give credit to the other team and coach, but not this game. Sorry. Refs allowed Embiid to play reckless and didn't allow Raps to play aggressive or physical. This is true. They did really limit us, and they gave them carte blanche to do whatever the fuck they wanted on the other end. I do honestly have to give credit, though, to Doc Rivers, just because the fact that he got this team to not make any turnovers and to beat us on the boards. Like, let me look at the box score real quick with the team stats. Like, they beat us by getting more field goal attempts. That's a huge thing that we usually do better. They had 2 more field goal attempts than us. That's no good. They shot 50% from 3. That is no good. They got more free throw attempts than us, and this is glaring that they got 34 free throw attempts and we only got 23. And I'm going to tell you right now, they were way more physical in us than we were with them. At least our guys shot pretty good at the free throw line with the free throws that they got. They out-rebounded us by 3 rebounds. That's normally not the case. And also the offensive rebounds. They got more offensive rebounds than us. The assists weren't bad between the 2 teams. The hustle stats, not so bad. But the turnovers, we had double the turnovers they had. And we only had 8 turnovers. And they had fucking 4 turnovers for a full game. That is really the credit I got to give Doc Rivers, that he got these guys to take care of the ball and not turn the ball over. And then fast break points, 29-10. That's horrible. And they beat us in the points in the paint by 2 baskets also. This just really, they beat us in so many stat categories that we normally do way better and beat the other team in. And that's going to be really hard to do, like to come back and beat people when they beat us at our own bread and butter. That's really what they did. They beat us at our own game in some ways. And that is just what it is and stuff like that. G saying we didn't rebound well and let Maxey go off. Yeah, Maxey and Doc Rivers. I got to give them credit last night. All right, Cards. Suns fans here again. This is the same guy who was here last week. He's saying go Suns. Good job, go Suns. I don't know. Are you guys playing today, right? You haven't played your first game, right? Whatever. You might have a little trouble with the Pelicans. Pelicans are a fun team. They have some different weapons in different ways. They match up with you guys pretty well. I mean, Jonas against Ayton, you got CJ McCollum. You got to look out for. Brandon Ingram is a great scorer. You got to watch out for him. I'm going to tell you right now. So, yeah, Suns fan, I don't even know why you're here. Whatever. You like to come in and say hi every once in a while. Go Suns. I'll say go Suns too. I've actually picked you guys to win the West and get to the finals. So I'm not against y'all. I don't, there's no friction here between Suns and us. If we were playing you in the finals, yeah, maybe then I have some friction. But no, I'm like, whatever. Good job. Suns are saying, Scrub saying, Reg Scrub saying to Suns fan. Oh, man, there's a lot here. I will get to everything because all I'm doing today is replying to what you guys say. He's saying to Suns fan, Suns can go re-sign Ayton. They can, if they can. Yeah, I like Ayton. Ayton could go on any kind of team. I think he's pretty happy in Phoenix. G saying we also lost to the Magic game 1. You actually think this loss is a big deal? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We lost the Magic here in Toronto when we were like the number 1 or the number 2 seed. And we lost our home game then. Like, this is supposed to happen. Philadelphia is holding serve. It's like in volleyball or in fucking tennis, badminton. They have to hold serve, which literally means they're hitting to try and get the point. And they've held serve for the first game. We'll see if they hold serve for the second game. There's nothing guaranteed. And when you're dealing with a maniacal genius like Nick Nurse and the adjustments, and then you got guys like Fred and Pascal who have pride and don't want to fucking look so bad, they're going to come out more aggressive and they're going to play way better in the next game. Trust me. GMA saying, yeah, they said he wasn't feeling well. GTJ has been sick for a while. Okay, so he's been sick. I mean, I don't want to infer anything by saying that maybe he was hungover, but it just was what it looked like to me, was that he looks like a hungover person or something like that. But okay, I just want him to get better and feel better. Get that echinacea, get that vitamin C, Gary Trent Jr., get that extra rest today and come back fresh tomorrow. Because they were saying you were fresh all week and you look real good. And it didn't look that way on game day. Something was wrong yesterday with him. Yeah, Gary was coughing. Either he was sick or apparently elbowed in the chest and couldn't breathe. I think it was really more that he was sick. Like, he literally, his body energy looked like downtrodden and just kind of weak. Like weak in his body and how he's feeling. So, yeah, I hope he's feeling better. Yeah, GMA saying kick out Chip. Yeah, I already did. I kicked him out. He's going to be banned from this station and stuff like that. He didn't come in with a very respectful tone in some ways. And honestly, I don't even know why Buck fan is talking shit to us because honestly, we own your ass. You have not fucking done anything to us in the past, whether it's in the regular season or in the playoffs, to have any right to talk shit to Toronto. Maybe that's what it is. You have deep-seated wounds from the shit that we've done to y'all in the past, and that you just got to come in and do this now. Yeah, there's no reason for him to be here. Brian saying, felt like I was in the Twilight Zone watching this game. I feel for our players, this type of treatment must be so deflating it kills the rhythm. Well, yes and no, Brian. These guys are professionals. They forget about it. They have a short memory. They're going to watch the tape and they're going to see all the ways that they can improve and do better and stuff like that. But they're not dwelling on this. They're not depressed like some of us fans are today. They're not like, they wipe their head of it and they say, we got to go get the next one. That's more what they do. They more like they're motivated, like, we can't fucking look like this again. We got to go out there and get them back, is what they're thinking right now. Is that's kind of thinking right now. And the Sixers, they know that. Like Doc Rivers said that in his press conference, like this, we've got a lot of work to do. There's like, I'm not totally happy with how we played tonight. We're still worried about them in different ways, and that's the good, smart way for them to be. Let the rest of the NBA fans, the Philly fans, be overconfident about how they feel, and then see what happens with the Raptors in the next couple games. How we come out and fucking steal games from them and take control of the series still. That's what I'm saying. This is not over. There's so much to be happening, and that we shouldn't get down. Like, we should be like the players and understand there's just more work to do. We got to be tougher, and we got to go out there and be the aggressor in the next game and that kind of stuff. Yeah. G saying non-Raps fans said they couldn't watch this game. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like really, I don't know which fans or whatever. Let's see. Evelyn saying good morning. Evelyn saying, guys, let's keep fighting. It's only game one. This is exactly the right attitude, Evelyn. I love you, Granny Evelyn. She is wise, and her years, she knows what she's talking about. We need to listen to Granny Evelyn. All right, let's hear what Random Gamer's saying next. I will give him a voice here because he's great. I'm willing to admit a lot of those fouls that Joel got were BS. I've been saying that all season, but obviously I ain't going to complain about it. But I can see why y'all are pissed after that game. Yeah, Gamer, you know what? Once again, respect. I love that there's a Sixers fan being here that's showing character and just being cool and being fair in some ways. And like, look, yeah, a lot of the fouls to me that are more that piss me off are the ones where he gets to the line and there's like not much contact. Like when you put that on the scale against what he's doing at the other end with his physicality, and then we're just doing a little bit of physical to him or any kind of anything to him, and he's getting the line, that's what pisses us off. And, yeah, of course, you're a Sixer fan. This is all in your favor. Of course, you're going to be fine with it. And if I was a Sixer fan, too, I would be like this, too, like the way you are. Is like, well, I'm going to look the other way. It's fine. But I like that you're actually admitting that there's a little bit of something that is not totally fair and all that. And you can see why we're pissed and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah. But respect, once again, man. Listen, your comments have been really cool. And you know what? You're welcome here anytime, but not Chip. Chip's out the fucking door. G saying Raps might as well foul hard if they're going to foul. Do not like that, in my opinion. But what's the point of trying to defend and get a call for touching his arm here? Might as well go hard. Yeah. And that's actually true. We do need to be more physical with them in the next game. That's one of the things that they did. And they even said after the game that they wanted to be the more physical team and do that better than us. Tobias Harris said himself. He said, we wanted to be the more physical team better than them because that's normally what they do to us. And that was very much a part of their game plan, was to be the aggressor, be the more physical team, putting us on our heels and hitting us in the face, literally. And that's what they did. That's what they did. Oh, yeah, they did. And, yeah, we need to match that back. Like, we have to come back. And even if we eat a bunch of fouls, we're going to get the fucking fouls anyway. If we're breathing on them or touching them, make them count. Make them count. That's what I'm saying, that like Joel has a little bit of a receipt he needs to get. That's what they say in the wrestling business. When somebody gets potatoed, they have a receipt, meaning the other guy is going to get a chance to get him back. And Joel needs a receipt given back to him from one of the Raptors. Oh, yeah, he does. All right, Cards, Suns fans here say, like, let's see what he's saying before I block him possibly. So now you know how Suns fans felt when refs let Giannis lower his shoulder every play and bulldoze the opposition and commit an offensive foul every game. Yeah, I mean, we know how this is. Every fan of every team in the NBA has seen bias reffing against them and kind of unfair calls on both ends of the court. This is nothing new to any kind of longtime NBA fan of any team and stuff like that. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't really watch the finals last year. I didn't give a shit, but yeah, I could see that kind of stuff happening with Giannis, that he's a golden boy. And, the part of, like I said the other day when you were here, is the factor of Scott Foster. You guys really need to watch out for Scott Foster. He absolutely hates Chris Paul. Like, Chris Paul tried to get him fired and kicked out of being an NBA ref, and he failed at it. And now there's this lingering like animosity where it's like, you tried to get me out of my job and get me out of the league, so I'm going to make you pay. And the record that Scott Foster has when he referees Suns games or Chris Paul games is he doesn't let him win. And that may be the specific person who was allowing Giannis to get those kind of calls against y'all last year is Scott Foster. So you need to specifically watch out for him. And when he's reffing your games, watch and see if you lose those games when he's involved. He is a bad person for the Suns, and it's specifically the grudge match, Chris Paul versus Scott Foster. So, Cards fan, once again, I am on y'all's side. I'm rooting for Phoenix on the other side. I hate the Warriors. I hate all kinds of other teams. And if you're playing other teams, I'm going to be rooting for y'all. So you do not have an enemy in the Raptor Freak, and you don't need to come in here and talk any trash because we're supportive towards your nation. Okay, we share a color of purple, and that's I've loved the Suns for a long, long time. They've been one of my favorite Western teams. Spurs are my number one Western team, but the Suns are in my top 5, top 3 actually of my favorite Western teams. I hate the Lakers. I hate the Warriors. So we're very similar, Suns fan. You're not a team that I hate. So, you don't need to be aggressive or angry towards us like Bucks fans been this morning. It's no reason to. G saying, thanks, Random. It's more multiple players are now injured. Yeah, it's just too bad with Thad and him. Random saying, yeah, that sucks. I hate seeing injuries no matter what team they play. Never wish that upon anybody. Yeah, he doesn't want to see Scottie miss games. He wants to play and beat the best version of the Raptors. And Scottie Barnes is a part of the best version of us. And it'll be really sad and suck if Scottie's one taste of the playoffs is this one game last night and we're out and he's hurt and, he's got to wait till next year. But maybe that's how you build the fire, the desire to get wins in the postseason and win a championship. That Joel Embiid is just a little further in his career, all this kind of stuff. He's dealt with injury years where he couldn't be number one himself completely 100%. And now this is just a part of the process for our young Raptors and what we're doing and things like that. And once again, the perspective long-term is we have a great franchise player. We want him to be good for long-term, and we don't want to rush him back and possibly hurt him even worse, like Kevin Durant did in the finals against us in 2019, stuff like that, or Klay Thompson. You rush these guys out and then they even worse injuries. G saying, also the refs are setting a dangerous tone. Don't want to see an actual slugfest where players on both teams get injured. Tempers will flare. They need to control the game in a fair way. Yeah, this is one of the most important jobs of the referees in the NBA is to stop fights, is to not allow things like the Malice in the Palace to happen, to not allow full-on brawls go on the court. And in some ways, they may need to really stop allowing some of the physical, dangerous shit. Like, I really hope that the NBA looks at the game last night and they're like, well, this is really bad. Like, they have their young rookie who's like, everybody wants to see play, and now he can't play because it looked a little like fucked up and dirty, some of the shit that happened last night. So hopefully this is something that will influence the refereeing in our series with the Sixers going forward. And like I said, it could be that the next game, game 2, that all of a sudden we're getting the calls and they're really helping us in some ways. And I wouldn't be upset about that because in some ways that's kind of evening things out from the first game's debacle of how shitty the fucking calls were and how biased they were in some ways. So Raymond Jacobs saying Embiid's cocky at home, but PTSD consumes moment he steps in Scotiabank Arena. I can't wait for our home games. Yeah, it'll be nice to have just home games here in Toronto, home playoff games, something we haven't had here since 2019. That's absolutely crazy that we haven't had a home playoff game in Scotiabank Arena since the championship run. And that's the fuckery of the fucking pandemic and shit like that. So, yeah, I can't wait either. And hopefully we just see a different kind of thing and see different things happen on the court starting tomorrow night, still in Philadelphia. Anselm saying the Raptors will come out and fight for the rest of the series. We are playing hockey now. Oh, okay. So Anselm's saying we got to be more like our Leaf brothers and be like hit them hard, hit them into the rails and into the boards and different things like that. Yeah, I agree with this. We do need a little bit of Oakley get back. Like, these jerseys behind me, they represent different things about the team that I want to see in them. When we lose, you see these jerseys behind me. And that's because Muggsy is heart and JYD is hustle. And these are both things that we need more from the Raptors in game 2 against Philadelphia. We need more heart shown on the court, meaning like, yeah, we see the heart of Tyrese Maxey and how he's playing and balling out for the Philadelphia 76ers. We need a counterpart. We need somebody to show heart on our side, somebody like Pascal Siakam, somebody like Gary Trent Jr., somebody like Precious Achua or Fred VanVleet. And then the hustle. We have to be the team that out works, out hustles, all the 50-50 balls. We need to be the one going to get them. We need to be the team doing everything that hustle and energy gets the positive benefits from. And that's JYD. We need the spirit of JYD and the spirit of Muggsy Bogues even deeper on our team for game 2 if we're going to get the victory in Philadelphia tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Leslie and Hart saying, do you think Nick Nurse threw this game? Can the Sixers play Raptors defense for 7 games? There's a lot of question marks today. It's like last night kind of opened up way more question marks for our team and kind of answered questions for their team. Like they did get a lot of answers for like things like Doc Rivers going to be able to coach us well. Yes. Is Maxey going to be a badass? Yes. Is Harden going to be contributing in a positive way? Yes. All this kind of stuff happened in yes ways for them. And like we have more doubt all of a sudden, like the doubt of our team, our guys going to be healthy because they're hurt now. Who's going to step up and do this? How Nick Nurse is going to adjust and do this stuff. But this is the thing. We have to have confidence in our team and our system and the way that we played this year. Like you think about it, we lose a bad game to Detroit, and the next day we come out and we beat the fucking Bucks in the season. So there's this kind of roller coaster through the season with having really shitty shit the big bed kind of games. And then we have a badass game where we go and beat Phoenix. And then we beat Denver and this 2 nights in a row and stuff like that. So we just got to see which Raptor team shows up and goes all out and tries to win the game. If we do not win tomorrow, still, I'm not going to say Chicken Little. I'm going to say, oh, this guy's falling. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say they held serve, and we have to hold serve in our home court now. And that we have opportunities on their home court to steal one and still win this series because that's what it's going to take. We're going to have to win all our home games and then win one in Philadelphia. And that is how you win the series in this first round against the Sixers. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd like to think that Nick Nurse played a little possum, Leslie, and maybe he's like, let's see what you guys have. I may not show you my best hand, and we're just going to try and beat y'all the normal way. And then maybe ramps things up and he says, okay, this is our emergency plan B. Because plan A is like, well, let's just play, have some fun, see how it goes, and get you guys your taste of the playoffs for the first time. And then like, bam, now let's like really roll out some of the big stuff and stuff. I hope so, Leslie. And that could be true. This is something that Nick Nurse has been known to do, is not show his best stuff right away. And you might be right. William Kettner's here. He's saying y'all don't really think Embiid did that on purpose. Come on, bro. All right, we're determining this. The hits to the face are definitely on purpose. When you hit somebody out like this, or you put your finger in somebody's eye, that is dirty and that is fucked up. And those were for real, and they were flagrant. Like the referee agreed on the one on Scottie. He should have called it on Kem and thrown him out when the Scottie one happened. Now, when he stepped on Embiid, and this is what we're saying, if you step on somebody by accident, maybe you hop over them or not try and like step completely on them. Well, he stepped with his whole body on him. A 300-pound almost man stepping down on an ankle like that is dirty. And that's what makes us think that he did a little bit of an intentional, like, even if it's out of anger, like he's like just doing it kind of like that way. It looked really bad. Like it looked egregiously like he didn't have to step with his full weight. Like he did what Andre the Giant used to do to opponents in the ring. He'd step on their stomach and walk over them. He did that same kind of shit. And maybe Andre doesn't step full effect on him, and he's like doing it the wrestling way. But I think Joel Embiid stepped completely on his ankle like that, and that he could have hopped on him and kind of, I don't want to hurt him, and like kind of stepped over it, but he didn't. He put his whole weight on him. He stepped down off the other foot onto his foot, and that's what makes us think that it's like maybe it wasn't completely on purpose, but he definitely didn't try and minimize damage. He put his whole fucking weight into it. Ansem saying, let Scottie rest. I'm tending to agree with this. At least maybe one game, and we'll see. We'll take it day by day. We'll see what the imaging says today and stuff like that. But let's definitely not rush him back because we don't want to make it worse. G saying, against the Sixers, like the offense, I like the offense run through Pascal like it was when Free was off those games. Fred was off those games. Fred off ball and maybe Gary off the bench. We're definitely going to keep starting the same guys, and if Scottie's not starting now, it looks like Kem's going to be starting and starting or Precious. They might start Precious to start or something like that. I want to see OG do more. I want to see Pascal do more. I want to see Fred do more. I want to see Chris Boucher do more. I want to see Gary Trent Jr. do more. I want to see Precious do more. All of them need to do more and play better. They did not play good enough. And yeah, I like the ball running through Pascal. Like, I don't understand. Like, he was kind of not a present or involved in the game in the first half. It seemed like he was not really initiating or putting his stamp on the game the way he can offensively in the first half. And maybe that's a credit to the Sixers having a good game plan for keeping the ball out of Pascal's hands. But it really, he didn't do anything in the first half. He did all this stuff in the second half, kind of when we were already in trouble and on our way to a loss. And that's too bad. Like Pascal, I know that he's dealing with like this. Some of the stuff he's dealing with today is remnants of how he felt at failure with the bubble against Boston. So he's got to search his feelings and feel those kind of feelings from then again right now, and really think about what he wants to do to try and make the outcome of this series better for the Raptors. Because he knows this kind of feeling from the bubble and how things can go real south with the fan base and people talking shit about him and not doing enough. He knows he's got to do better. He knows he's got to do better. Let's see. Anselm saying the rest of the bench has to come in fighting. I agree with that for sure. Isaac Campbell, another new name. I'm here every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. I'll start my stream. You guys can talk Raptors with me every day. And I'm doing this in the off season too. So it doesn't matter if we're playing or not. I'll be doing Raptors content every single day. Isaac Campbell saying on ball pressure was weak, made us completely out of sync, and allowed them to bully us in the half court set. We need to run them and dig deep into the bench. No way playing a limited bench equals winning. Well, especially now, like if we're going to have guys missing the games like Thad and Scottie, we're going to definitely need guys like Malachi and Yuta and possibly Svi to step up and actually produce and do some different things for us. And that's not going to bode well for us just because of their track record this season and how we have not been able to depend on them in any kind of way. So yeah, I agree. Our ball pressure was weak all kinds of places. Like we let them do too much too easy. And, part of it is they did take care of the ball really well to limit their turnovers, but maybe we didn't put enough pressure on them to actually kind of force turnovers on them. And this is something that Nigris will probably easily adjust in different ways, where this is how we can really get under their skin and really agitate them by trying to pry the ball out from them in different ways. Yeah, I like your statement, Isaac, and I think that's a good observation as far as like some of the things that our defense was lacking last night, where we could have done better. And so I'm saying, I think we needed this punch in the face to wake us up. This is just a normal kind of thing when you're a younger team coming into a playoff series. The veteran team, the team with more guys that have more years in the league, are going to punch you in the face and say, "Welcome to the playoffs, rookie." Bam. And that's basically like literally what they did. They're like the physicality that Joel Embiid showed last night was punching people in the face and stepping on their ankles and stuff. And that's just a rite of passage for young players. Like, hello, welcome to the playoffs. This is how it is, and stuff like that. So hopefully these guys can adjust. Hopefully Scottie will be healthy and be able to play some more playoff basketball and maybe show that he's ready to counterpunch and something like that. But I agree with this, Anselm. This is something, it really does smack a lot of the very first game of the season against the Washington Wizards and how we weren't ready for that game, for the intensity of the regular season at that point with our young guys and understanding exactly what you need to be like to play well. And Washington jumped on us in that first game of the season back at Scotiabank Arena and beat us. And that was seriously similar to what happened last night. G saying this is a game where Serge would have been some sort of enforcer. Yeah, Serge would have been helpful. I wish Kem was more tough in certain ways with the way he is. I think that Precious is our guy that's kind of like that. Like even when Joel was being chippy at the sending the free throw line, when Pascal was shooting free throws and he's complaining about getting called for a foul for fouling Pascal, he did. Precious was kind of involved in that discussion and talking shit to Joel in his face right then. And hopefully, maybe, I mean, Thad was the kind of guy I was hoping we could kind of do this kind of role also. But it may be Precious is our Charles Oakley, Serge Ibaka kind of guy at this point with our roster and stuff like that. So Graham Vandervecht, good to see a new name here. I'm here every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. Please join us again. Hit that subscribe button. Joel's saying, he's saying Joel is absolute human trash. How can you injure two fucking people in one game? Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, this smacks of like a big bully. Like he's obviously the biggest guy out on the court. He does not need to be throwing elbows and doing shit like what he was doing last night. That was really kind of probably premeditated. Part of what Doc Rivers said, you go out there and be as physical as possible, Joel. You go out there and hit them hard. I want you to be aggressive tonight. Saying shit like that. Yeah, I agree with Graham's statement. It's a little, like, how the fuck can you fucking do this? I'm like, I agree with this, Graham. It's like fucked up. And the refs, he doesn't need y'all's help, refs. He's the giant on the court. He's the biggest dude out there. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. And y'all were like really helping him last night. Ansom's agreeing with G. Blue City Empire Sports. All right, here's another Sixers fan. We'll give him a chance. We'll see if he's like Random Gamer. We don't mind Sixer fan coming here and talking to us, as long as they're respectful and we can have a good discussion and it's not just degenerating into what Chip was doing earlier. Even though I'm a 76er fan, this is just my opinion. In the playoffs, it will get crazy and they could do whatever they want in the regular season. You cannot. Okay, so he's saying that, like, with our defense during the regular season, we were allowed to do more, that whatever we wanted to with our defense. And that, that's true. Like, we were allowed to do a lot more in the regular season than we were last night, obviously. But on the same token, the Sixers were allowed to do whatever the fuck they wanted to. Like, seriously, the calls with Joel Embiid were not fair. Like, in some ways, if he had been just a normal player, not a player that's like a MVP candidate or like a star in the league, he might have gotten thrown out of the game last night for some of the things that he did that were dirty. And yeah, I mean, Blue City, this is a fine statement. I think you're right, that it is a higher intensity, it's more physical, and that the Raptors were not ready for that kind of punch in the face last night, and they didn't punch back. And that's what Nick Nurse wants to see, if his team has that kind of character in them, to come back with a new attitude and show that they're not going to be pushed around anymore. And that's what he's hoping. He's like, he doesn't know for sure. He said, well, we'll have to see if this team responds physically and mentally to losing this game the way they did last night. 6 in Canada. I love what they're saying here. They're saying the Raptors still going to win in 6 games. And you know what? You may be completely right still. This is the thing. Philadelphia fan may be a little overreactive and a little bit too presumptuous and feeling like they're going to win this series. I know that it seemed like a dominating win, and it seemed like there were a lot of things that went really well for them. But honestly, a lot of things went perfect for y'all last night. Perfect. And in some ways, there were a lot of things that did not go perfect for us. And we can do way, way better. This is not the normal Raptors team that you saw last night. And I like your attitude, 6 Canada TV. Good attitude. I love it. I love it. Ansem saying Philly played within their nature. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I hadn't seen Joel play that dirty before. He definitely upticked his intensity for the playoffs. He really is playing like he cares and he wants this. And I in some ways, I have to respect that, but I can't respect some of the ways he's going about it in some ways. Blue City's also saying the Raptors do the same thing to my Sixers. I bet for a fact they would get away with it. Yeah, maybe. And this is what I'm saying, that sometimes they call it this way where they're going to really favor the Sixers in game 1, but it could turn around in game 2 that they really give the calls to us tomorrow to try and even it out. And that's kind of what I was saying, that they like to draw these series out to as many games as possible. If they get a 6 or 7 game series and all the series, that's just more TV revenue, more games, more gate attendance, more money made for franchises, all that kind of stuff. And then in some ways they do that. Like, the refs will call the game for one team, one game, and then the next game they'll call it for the other team, and it'll go back and forth. So, I mean, listen, you guys got away with a lot of shit last night. And I will admit that the Raptors get away with shit in the past also. And it's just how it is in the NBA. That some nights will favor certain teams. You want to get it consistent on both ends every single night, but these refs, for some reason, they have weird agendas and weird things, the ways they call the game sometimes. So we'll see. We'll see, Blue City. It's still a lot of games to play. And like I'm saying, I will warn Sixer fans to get too confident right now. Do not get too confident, even though the game went last night like the way it does. Because, like, listen, that could be a pitfall for y'all also. If you get too confident about this series right now, the Raptors can still steal this and win this series from y'all. And that's something you got to really worry about. And I know Doc Rivers is really still very worried about the Raptors doing bad things to the Sixers, and that he knows that there's a lot of work for them to do still to get through this first round against the Raptors. They got the good first win for sure, but there's still games to be played for sure. Click 2AM saying, guys, it could have been worse. His ankle could have broke and he would need surgery. Yeah, I agree with this. Like, the preliminary results of the X-ray last night are good. Hopefully the results today will reinforce that good and show even more good. And like I said, there's something in his favor. He's 20 years old. He's super healthy, young, strong. super athlete. And that if somebody can heal and do crazy Wolverine kind of shit, it's Scottie Barnes. And I believe that. Yeah. So it could be way worse. Click to him saying Pascal, OG, and Fred need to be the ones who set the tone. Then everyone else follows. Yeah. They got to be the ones that right the ship. Steady Freddie. And there were times last night where Steady Freddie was the guy hitting threes here, making a crazy circus shot layup to keep us going and having some scoring and stuff like that. I commend Fred for doing good things with really being in foul trouble the whole game and still being able to get a pretty decent stat line last night. Freddie was 7 for 12. First of all, that's fantastic shooting for Fred. 4 of 7 from three-point line, 18 points. He could have scored more. But like we said, he fouled out with like 8 minutes to go in the game. Like there was so much time left in the game when he got that last foul. And it was really ugly and awful. Like it was real, like, oh, because it was like right when Scottie got hurt, Fred got his sixth foul also and had to leave the game. And all of a sudden, that's a huge difference in this game. Like we could have possibly put on some sort of run at the end of the game and tried to steal this game by the end of it if Fred and Scottie were still available and playing the full 8 minutes at the end. And so we had to bring Yuta in and have other guys come in and next man up. And that like really derailed us. And that took the wind out of our sails for possibly making a comeback, losing both those guys right in this like same instant, really. And I didn't even see the coach's challenge. They did a coach's challenge to try and save Fred from fouling out, but it was unsuccessful and he had to leave, which sucks. It really sucks. And Fred made it count because on his way out, he fucking cussed those refs good and got a tech. And I'm proud of you, Freddie. And he even did, like, for the rest of the game, he sat on the bench and he was still coaching and being loud and being involved in the game. Good job, Fred, for that. But yeah, these are our leaders. They need to do better to set the tone and get us going in the right direction for sure. Ansem saying Philly played with urgency. They really did. They really did play with urgency, specifically Maxey. He was all over the place and fantastic last night. Kudos to Tyrese Maxey. Fantastic player. Click to Am saying Joel is clumsy. He throws his weight everywhere. Lost all my respect for him yesterday. Yeah, I lost a lot of mine too. Like, seriously, I was talking so many nice things about him, and then I see him do this goon shit last night. I'm like, fuck, I can't like Joel Embiid anymore. It's too bad because I do really like him, and I want to root for him in certain ways. Like, now I'm like, yeah, I'm glad we made you cry. That's where I'm at now. I'm glad we made him cry. Leslie saying, don't be too emotional, Raptors fans. 3-1. Can they beat us in a 7-game series? No disrespect to Philly, but T.O. plays 48 minutes and Philly doesn't. Yeah, I mean, it sucks because normally we give a good fight right up until the end, but it was so deflating that moment where I was saying Fred fouls out, Scottie gets hurt, and it was like really tough at that point. But that's true. We don't give up. Normally we give a fight right up until the last end of the buzzer, and we're trying to claw our way back, even no matter what, we're down. Like we could be down 12 minutes, 12 points with like 2 minutes to go, and we're still trying to make up that margin within those 2 minutes and stuff like that. So I love Leslie's attitude here. She's right. That we can't get too emotional. We can't get this feeling of like mood swings, bipolarness with winning and losing. It's just not the right way to be as a fan nation. And we are doing that to a degree. But I am also really happy to see a lot of Raptor fans today having this kind of wisdom and crude knowledge of the playoffs and how the ups and downs are, and they're not overreacting. They're not going too crazy. A lot of them still believe in the Raptors and think that we can still do really well in the series. And I'm glad that Raptor fans have matured to that kind of level instead of just like fucking falling apart and be like, wow, we're going to get swept. Oh, we're horrible. No, Scottie's out forever. All this kind of pessimistic shit. Is the more optimistic and stuff like that, the more we can help pull our team out of this quagmire of the loss last night. Oh, yeah. Sixth Canada TV saying, I keep saying Masai Ujiri has to get a damn center in the offseason. Yeah, well, we'll see. This is actually on our list, possibly in the free agency for the summer, that we may need to get a legitimate center in some sort of ways and stuff like that. I don't disagree with this. I'm on the fence. I'm 50-50. It's like if Masai really wants to do this no center positionless kind of play and he wants to keep riding it, I understand. But if he does want to go out and get a legit center, a real 7-footer, a guy that can really match up with Joel Embiid for next year, hey, I wouldn't be upset about that also. So we'll have to see how it happens. But still, we got time. We got games still. But the offseason, we will maybe have to start talking about that soon if we don't get our head out of our ass as a team right now. Anselm saying, I agree. We need to get in there and score when shooting ain't working. Yeah, I thought that they got good open looks. I thought that Fred looked really badass for three, but Gary was not himself. Obviously, we talked about that already. And then, OG played good too. He was 9 for 15. He had 2 threes. He had 20 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists. OG was understated, but he was actually doing a lot of good things for us. Pascal, 50% from the field. See, it's not like our guys shot bad. Fred was 7 of 12. Gary shot bad. He was 2 of 11. But the other guys shot really well. Precious wasn't so good, 3 of 9. But Boucher was 3 for 3. All 3 shots that he took, he made. It's a shame that he fouled out with only 15 minutes on the court. And if that is indicative of the referee being biased with their calls, that Chris Boucher got 6 fouls in 15 minutes, that's fucked up. That's really fucked up, especially when you look at the other side and you see Joel Embiid. Well, he had 5 fouls. He was in trouble for maybe possibly fouling out. But yeah, it's crazy. Maxey and Harden did not get a foul, either one of them. Neither one of them got a single foul. That's fucking crazy. All right, let's see. Aiden, let's see, is what he's saying. I don't know what he means. Let's see what they say. Oh, he's got more to say. He's saying, let's see. Aiden saying Philly is just a better team. No disrespect to Raps fans. Sixers in 4. Okay, we got a Sixers fan here. You know, I love that you're overconfident because you can get fucked up with this kind of overconfidence. You guys aren't the best team. Like, honestly, we are a better team overall with all of our guys and when they're working together. You guys may have more talented guys in certain places, but you're not the best team. I'm going to say this right now. There's problems with your team. It's just that last night, your team played perfectly for the first time against the Raptors. I've never seen them play that well against the Raptors, and I don't think they will again. Like, you guys had a dream game against the Raptors last night. So let's not get it twisted, Aiden. You can be overconfident yourself, but I'm going to tell you right now, the Sixers are not that confident as you are that they're going to sweep us in 4. No. You'll see. We're going to find out. G saying Harden did a good job passing. He really did. I'll give him a kudo for that. Raymond Jacobs saying our third stringers got to see the floor last night. I was kind of really into seeing how they play. Go Bonga. Yeah, I'm really curious about Bonga. Like, honestly, if that and Scottie are going to miss games, I want Bonga to get some rotation minutes because Bonga in the G League is doing all the same things that our regulars do with our positionless stuff on the main roster. He can do it and plug in and be very capable. And he's actually somebody I would like to see play more than the little guards in some ways and more than Svi Mahalik. Yuta and Bonga should be the guys picking up the slack with guys being out from last night is what I'm seeing. Yeah, I like that, Raymond. Isaac Campbell saying, I hate saying it, but not having a true center off the bench limits the players we have available. Having Malachi and Maxey would help, but won't happen as we wouldn't have enough size on Embiid. Yeah, I don't know. We got to distribute it and do things a little bit better. Like, they were doing a lot of things easier than they normally do. And it was a combination of them being really aggressive, having a good game plan, being really ready, and us not coming out with the kind of intensity we normally have. So it could be a lot different and look way different in different ways in the next game. Let's hope and pray for that. Oh my gosh. Because adjustments and the chess match of the coaches is going to be in play starting tomorrow. We got to see how Nick Nurse reacts to all this. We got to see how the players play better and are prepared better for tomorrow night. But yeah, we'll have to see. Like, if this is a glaring weakness, the true center thing, then this offseason we may need to address it, like we've been saying in the last couple comments. Six Canada TV saying Young Barnes and Kem Birch is injured, so next man up. Yeah, it's not Kem, it's Thad. I think Kem Birch actually is on the injury list also this morning. They're all day to day. Is what they're saying right now. Actually, I think Thad might be out, and Scottie and Kem are listed as day-to-day. And that bodes well for Scottie Barnes possibly being all right. Black Spawn saying, game 1 is a joke. 76ers played their best game I ever seen. I'm not worried about it. Raptors in 6. Yeah, I like what Black Spawn's saying, and this is true. They played their perfect game. They played the absolute perfect game that they possibly could, and they even got the little extra side bonuses of hurting our rookie and doing stupid shit like that and stuff like that. Yeah. Once again, I'm with Black Spawn. And in some ways, I'm still taking my prediction yesterday of Raptors in 5. Like, yeah, as crazy as that fucking sounds, we could fuck them up tomorrow on their home court, and it just changes the whole thing. We busted open, and they can't do jack shit, and we win this whole thing in 4 games in a row. We did this shit to Bucks. We could do this shit to Sixers, and that's what I'm saying right now. And I like Black Spawn's positivity, and I'm with them on this. Raptors in 6 is probably more realistic at this point than 5. But yeah, it could still happen this way. G saying 3 injured players from one player, shaking my head. I'm pissed, but trying not to be. What if Raptors injured three Sixers? The media and league would be livid. Yeah, I don't know what it would be like if it was going the other way and how it would be talked about and stuff like that. It could be that you know, we would be talked about as being goons and being real bad guys and stuff like that. So stuff like that. All right, looks like we have some new people here. I'll get to them very soon. Trust me. La la la. Wow, you guys have talked a lot. I'm gonna have to try and catch up. All right, it's about 9:05 saying he's laughing at Aiden. That's good. I like that. Six Canada TV saying Joel Embiid is a dirty player. You can't respect players like that. Yeah. Yeah, no joke. Okay, yeah, you guys can go back and forth a little bit. I don't mind that. Raymond Jacobs saying, laugh out loud. Kudos to Pascal for being the only one who always does snap back at Embiid. Yeah, I mean, and they're countrymen and they have a relationship. And it was funny that Pascal did that little push. It was a nothing push. But then you see fucking Joel Embiid do the soccer player reaction, like, oh, and he was trying to over embellish. And that's why he was so pissed off because he wanted to get him in trouble for pushing him slightly on the leg. And it may be that it was like there's a lot of this stuff where, like, if you stand over a player while they're on the ground, it's disrespectful. And that's part of the reason why Joel Embiid pushed Scottie off of Tyrese Maxey in that one point of the game. And this is a similar thing. Like, Joel was walking over Pascal to kind of lord over him a little bit. And that's why Pascal pushed him away from him. And then he overreacted and he wanted to get Pascal in trouble for the push. And then he turned around and pushed him himself right in front of the referee. So I'm like, Joel, you're fucking punk. You know, you can fucking that, but he barely pushed you. Like, he can't do shit to you while he's laying on the ground. He's sitting on the ground. He doesn't have any of his force, like, because he's sitting. He's pushing you from a sitting. It's not like he hurt you or anything. He's maybe just like, don't step on me like you might fucking step on somebody in this fucking game. So I'm fucking pushing you away from me because I'm laying here on the ground. You could fucking stomp on me like you fucking bullshit. And that's part of why he pushed him away. So, and I do love that Pascal didn't back down to him. Like, he and that whole exchange right there, he was like smiling. He's like, yeah, whatever, motherfucker. And he was talking shit specifically to Pascal. So it's very interesting. This is the kind of thing that will motivate a person like Pascal to fuck them up in the next game. So yeah, I hope this shit happens. Seriously. Summer Lowe's saying, go any team that's not Philly. Yes, Summer. Yes, go any team that isn't in the Atlantic Division other than us, is what I'll say. I don't fucking want Brooklyn or Boston to do well either. Fuck them too. But yeah, Summer, good stuff. I love Summer. Click saying Doc could have shown all his cards last night. You know Nick is going to adjust. Yeah, this could be. I hope this is true. That, like, Doc got the best that he can out of the Sixers last night, and it's all downhill from here for them. And that hopefully will be what happens in this series. Click 2am saying it seems like they're making Embiid be less of a scoring threat so that he has more energy to box out and defend. Yeah, they are playing off of him. They're kind of playing off the threat of him just being on the presence on the court and getting easier shots for the other guys because Harden and Embiid are both big threats. Like, Maxey really cleaned up from this kind of stuff. And that's what Doc Rivers said after the game, is that their way that they're trying to play things is to open lanes for Maxey by using all the attention on Embiid and Harden to cause creases and openings for him to just go right to the lane and stuff like that. Like that, he literally said that last night after the game. Yeah, Ansem saying Gary Trent Jr. got elbowed in his chest and looked wounded for the rest of the game. Okay, I didn't see that part. That might have happened right at the beginning of the game, the part that I didn't get to see. G saying, Ansem, that's what I saw and heard, that he got elbowed in the chest and couldn't breathe properly after that. Could be. I mean, I just want him to get back to looking more normal. We need him to make his shots. If we're going to win this series, we need him to get going. Isla Flop saying the crowd chanting referees suck after Embiid got a flagrant for the elbow as Scottie's face was a joke. Yeah, I mean, that's just the thuggery of normal Philadelphia fan, just being a fucking thug and a dirty person that throws batteries at people and stuff like that. You know, that's an apparent, like, a flagrant foul. And of course they're going to say, ref, you suck. The favoritism is that they want their team to get all the calls and get whatever. And of course, they're going to be blind and not look at reality there and saying stuff like that. You know, Callie saying Joel wears 280 pounds. He is a big baby-faced bully. I have no respect for him. He's allowed to hurt our players, then cries and whines when he doesn't get the call. Yeah. This is a big part of why my respect for him dropped last night. Seriously, yeah. Tom Duke saying happy Easter, everyone. He's just keeping things nice and smiley. I hope people are out there getting their eggs or going to church or doing whatever they do for Easter. Me personally, I'm just going to be talking Raptors and then enjoying the rest of my day, just playing video games probably. Pope Platinum Beats. Another new name. We're here every morning, 9:30 a.m. With Embiid injury history, he's going to risk his knees and ankles to hurt a rookie intentionally stomping on his ankle blindly. That sounds totally delusional. Yeah, I know what you're saying, that you think that he wouldn't do that on purpose, but the other stuff he did was on purpose. Like when you put your finger in somebody's eye like that, that is very purposeful. That's like an eye rake, and that's very dirty. What we're saying is that he may not have intentionally tried to step on him, but when he did see that he was stepping on him, he put all his weight on him. And that's what I'm saying. And yeah, he's had a bad luck with injuries from different things like this himself. And it may be that in his mind, he sees it as, well, I went through this shit. I'm going to make sure this young guy has to go through it himself, kind of thing. Yeah, it doesn't mean that he's not going to do it to somebody else. It's just going to pay it forward. So, like somebody may have paid it forward to him in the past, is the way I look at it with them. But I mean, I don't think that he intentionally tried to step on him. I think that he just found, oh, I'm conveniently stepping on his ankle. Well, I'm not going to take my weight and put it on the other foot. I'm going to go ahead and step right over him and step on him. And that's what we're seeing today as far as things. G saying, Pope, he didn't say intentionally, he said he didn't try to minimize his weight on it. That's exactly what I'm trying to explain right now. I'm 50-50 on this. Could have been momentum, had him throw his hopeful weight on it, but Embiid was playing dirty too. Yeah. I mean, there's no denying he was playing dirty. And then it just looks bad. It looks bad that this one particular, the biggest player on the court, is involved in, multiple Raptors getting hurt and having to be out of the game and stuff like that. So, Sam T's saying, I'm not a big fan of Kem, even though he's Canadian. We cheered when Durant got injured, so I suppose this is karma. We didn't cheer when Durant got injured. That's a fallacy. That's not what happened that day at the Golden State game. What happened was Serge Ibaka got the ball and went on the break and dunked the ball, and we cheered because our team scored. We did not cheer because Kevin Durant got hurt. In fact, we did a lot of stuff after the fact to show that we felt bad about him getting hurt. Whether it's sending him nice stuff through social media. I think we even did something charity-wise as Raptor fans to show that we were sad about Kevin Durant getting hurt. There's nothing about what happened with Kevin Durant that day where the Raptor fans were happy about it. That's not what happened. This was got told totally out of control by the media because they heard our reaction to Serge Ibaka dunking the ball at the same time. It was on the same play. He lost the ball, he fell to the ground, and we went down there and slammed the ball down. Our crowd cheers when the dunk happens, and it just happened to coincide with Kevin Durant. See, we're not that so centric that we just worry about Kevin Durant. We were watching our player and our team do something and excel. And that's why they were cheering. It had nothing to fucking do with Durant. In fact, when he got up and he started walking, we actually were cheering for him because we were glad that he was actually able to get up and get off the court. So it's really fucked up that people still think that the Raptors fans were doing that in that moment because we weren't. And in fact, last night, I think Philly fans were cheering Scottie getting hurt, though. And it's not karma because, listen, we didn't do anything wrong. That was the media who made that fucking story up and made us look bad because we didn't. We were cheering a Serge Ibaka dunk, and we were not cheering someone's injury, Sam T, just so you know. All right. I will flop saying it's hard to punch back when you have both hands behind your back tied. Yeah, that's really a big part of it is like you get early foul trouble. When I said this before the series even started, I said, watch for the referees giving 2 early fouls to a key Raptor. Well, it was Fred VanVleet last night. And that is very, very by design. That is by design to hurt us right away and help the Sixers win this game right away. Because in a lot of ways, the NBA narrative doesn't want the Sixers to look completely bad. And if they can fix the game and help them right away, that's good for them. But you know what? They may actually do a solid for us because it was so badly one-sided in the last game. And they try and make up for it, like a makeup call in a game. They make a bad call in one court, and then they make another bad call to even it out another way. Well, they may do this as far as games. Like they may look at how bad it looked last night, and they say, you know what? We're going to let the fucking Raptors do whatever the fuck they want to the Sixers in game 2. And that could be very possible. And, that may not be good for the Sixers. They may be seeing some receipts getting come back their way. That's what I'm saying. G saying, Sam, that is not totally true. They cheer. Yeah, see, I'm G saying exactly what I said about it. This is what was gotten so twisted about this. We were not happy that Kevin Durant got hurt. We wanted to play Kevin Durant, and everybody keeps thinking, "Oh, the Raptor fans wanted Kevin Durant to get hurt." No, we didn't. We wanted to beat the Warriors, the best that they could be, and that's exactly right. G's saying it here. I didn't even see what he was saying. That we were cheering because Serge made a dunk, and it's not about that. It's basically what it is. Scott B saying, "Come on, guys! They gave Freddie V 2 fouls in the first 30 seconds. Of course, we had to back off. Superior-minded, superior." Attitude and superior personnel. We will see you Monday. Yeah, Scott B's right. Let's see what happens. We roll it back. This game 0-0 starting tomorrow. Let's just see how it goes. We'll paint this new Bob Ross picture and see how it looks at the end of it. See if there's some happy little trees for the Toronto Raptors fan nation for tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. G saying KD was not yelling, so no one knew how bad it was. They were chanting KD when he got up. That's exactly right. It's like we were chanting for him when he got up and he left. See, it's all twisted. It's very twisted. If you ask Kevin Durant about how he felt in that moment, he'd probably say that he felt supported by the Raptors fan nation more than they were jeering him and treating him like shit. Because like I said, after the game, we went out of our way to show support. We gave money to his charity or something like that as a fan nation just because of all the bad press that was coming out, because we wanted to show that this is not who we are. And that's what I'm saying right there. Ron the man. All right, let's see. This is going to be a Philly fan. I can already tell. Y'all got beat by 20 and was down 20 the whole game. And you think referees were the problem. Oh, my gosh. Motherfucker. You going to fucking come in here and talk this shit? Listen, we would come on a run and come and fucking up the Sixers by the end of this game if the referees wouldn't tie our hands behind our back. This is serious shit. You guys got the biggest dude on the court. He's acting like a big bully, and he has all these advantages. And then you're going to get the three-man crew to be on your side too. So you got 8-on-5 all of a sudden. Motherfucker, if you don't think the referees were helping y'all last night, then you are just not grounded in reality. And you need to go fuck off right now. Y'all war on. I'm going to see what more you have to say, and I'm going to cut a promo on you real quick, just like Jim Cornette will. And then we'll see what happens real quick. Oh, yeah. Gingerly saying best of luck, Raptors. Please win tomorrow, Gingerly. Good to see you again. All right, let's see. Warren saying, man, stop. That's the fan in you talking. Y'all threw everything you could at Embiid. No, we did not. We didn't play as well as we normally do. We have way better physicality normally. We do play him way better. And we actually did play him pretty good. Like his shot attempts and what he shot last night, he was 5 for 15 last night. That means he missed 10 shots. So we did a good job on Embiid for the most part. Seriously. G saying, Warren, you must have not heard the entire segment. He gave the Sixers a ton of credit. The bigger problem are injuries and now setting the tone. Yeah. G's also saying, imagine Raptors elbowing your players and now and injuring your team. Nobody wants that. Warren saying, talking about don't get overconfident. All I heard before this series started was Raptor fans hype about beating us 3-1 in the regular season. Yeah, well, we did. That's the fucking reality of it. We showed that we can handle your team. And Doc Rivers did a good job prepping y'all for last night. But don't get it twisted. Y'all played a perfect game last night. You better be fucking perfect going out. Because it may be that you have to play perfect to beat us normally. Because the way it works normally is we get a lot of turnovers on y'all. We normally get the rebound battle. We get on the offensive glass. And you guys did a good job last night. Well, you better fucking hope and pray that you continue to do a good job, because we could easily turn the tide in this series and whoop y'all up and put y'all out real quick, real soon. So you saying you're overconfident, whatever, overconfident. We just know who we are and what we like to do and what that kind of stuff. And that's what I'm saying right now. We've proven we can beat Philadelphia consistently, and that we all got one last night. Good job. Kudos. Good job. But you better fucking play perfect continuing like this, because you played a perfect game last night, and that's how you won. If you don't play perfect, we're going to beat your ass. I'm going to tell you right now. G said, I mean, you guys are overconfident too for over 1-0. I know they're way overconfident right now. They're coming in here and rubbing in our face and saying all this kind of shit. Listen, you only won one game. There's a lot of games to be played still. Trust me. Blue City saying, me and my friends that are Sixers fans, we was like, oh, man, we're going to get swept by the Raptors. Me and my friends were already waving the white flag. But in game one, it's anybody's game. See, that's what I'm saying. There's been Sixer fans that have been here all week, and they've said stuff like, we're not totally confident in Doc Rivers. We don't know what James Harden we're going to get. And they've been very, like, realistic. And I like that. And like even Blue City's being honest here is like he didn't feel good going to the series. But now Sixers fans have some life. They have some like, whoa, this is really good. And this is something to build off of in this series already. And I appreciate your honesty. And you're right. We gave you guys all kinds of good things to feel good about and have some real good chance. Like this series got even at this point. Like in ways we had the advantage going into it. But now I look at it as going to be a slugfest, very even kind of series at this point. And Sixer fan, you can go ahead and get overconfident and think, oh, we're really going to beat them now. But this is Nick Nurse. And you got to realize that that's a big factor in like changing the game and scheme for the Raptors game to game and stuff like that. Like half your nation can be overconfident and rub it in our face. And then people like Blue City are going to be like, yeah, I feel good, but I also don't want to get ahead of myself and realize that there's still a lot of work to do. That's a smart Sixers fan right there because he's still respecting our team. And this is how y'all will win. If you're realistic and grounded in it, like Blue City, and take it game by game and just like hope for good outcomes for your team, just like how we're doing it from our end. Because we did, like in some ways, like a lot of experts were saying this. Max Kellerberg was going to say, I'm going to bet my house the Raptors going to win, all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's not that we're not overconfident or anything. We see this is a fight. And it's like we got to take it game by game, play by play, and may the best team win. We'll see how it goes. And last night, the best team won. And I'm going to say that. I'm going to give it to them because they're the best. They played the best. They had the best. No turnovers. They won the rebounding battle. They won the three-pointers. They won the getting more shots, all that kind of stuff. And that's why they won last night. They played a perfect game. Kudos to the Sixers. See, I can give some credit to them. Warren saying at G, who's overconfident? We know it's only one game at a time. Okay, good. Then act like that and realize that we're still very dangerous. Like we're a poisonous snake in the corner, and you don't want to get bit by us still, seriously, because we will do damage. G saying, sure, that's why you came in here to talk smack, being overconfident. Yeah, that's part of it too. It's like, listen, we expect fans of other teams to come in and interact with us. This is fine. And Warren saying at G, he may have given the Sixers credit, but I'm responding to what he's saying right now. That's fine. But listen, the refs did y'all help. They helped y'all. They did. They tied our hands behind our back. They put foul trouble on certain key players for us that play really well against you. And then they let your guy do whatever the fuck he wanted. We breathed on him, touched fouls. He got the line. And they got 34 free throws, and we only got 23 free throws last night. That's an 11 difference. And it wasn't like y'all, we were the less physical team last night. And y'all were way more physical, and you got less fouls called on you. So that right there is glaring. That's glaring to me. And seriously, if you don't think the fucking referees guide which way the water's going in games, then you're a fucking dumbass. If you don't think the referees have some manipulation in what's happening in these NBA games, then you're just a fucking stupid motherfucker. If you don't actually admit that the referees impact the game and cause different things that happen in the game. Now, I'll say first and foremost, y'all played a perfect game. And that's why y'all won. But the referees definitely held our hands behind our back. Seriously. All right, let's keep going. Warren's also saying, I was just scrolling and I saw this was live, so I decided to stop by, and all I hear is crying about the refs in a game where y'all was down 20 the whole game. We weren't down 20 the whole fucking game, and we were going on a run in the third quarter and made it shrunk. We shrunk it down to like 5 or 7 points at one point. It's not like y'all were absolutely dominating us. There were times where Doc Rivers said it after the game. He wasn't happy with y'all the way you played in the third quarter. And part of the way we played this whole season, we give up a good lead. We give a 10-point lead to somebody in the first quarter, and we come back and we fuck them up by the end of the game. It's kind of our MO. So don't think just because you had a lead the whole game that you were dominating us, because sometimes we play from behind, and that's the way we like to play. And that may have been part of the game plan last night, was we were trying to make our run to come back on y'all in the third quarter, and then all this bullshit happened with Scottie and then Fred fouling out and stuff like that. Listen, you know what? My job as a Raptor fan and a positive Raptor fan is to spin it in the right perspective for us. So you ain't going to agree with half the shit I'm going to say because you have the Sixers perspective. So whatever, you can say whatever the fuck you want. We're going to say what we fucking want. This is a Raptors channel, you know? And if you want to be here, you got to be respectful in different ways. If you talk in a respectful way, I'll allow you to continue to be here with us. But otherwise, I'll fucking kick your ass out. Seriously, watch. All right, let's see. G saying, because it's true. The refs were babying Embiid while letting him injure. It's not just Raps fans saying this. Let them both play physical. Instead, we watched Embiid cry for calls. That's the thing that's the most egregious thing about it is that he's getting all the favoritism and he's still whining like a big fucking baby. Come on, Joel. Be a man. Grow up. Be the man that you are. Show that you're different than you were in 2019, crying ass baby walking off the court. Be a grown up, mature man and take your lumps and stop whining when you're getting everything for you. You look like a spoiled brat little baby. When you fucking get all these calls in your favor and you're hitting the shit out of our guys, injuring our guys, and then you're fucking whining to the ref that you got a flagrant called on you in that one sense. No, motherfucker. You listen, I had respect for you yesterday. And now I don't. It's all out the window. Warren's saying, I really don't think you want the refs letting the teams play. Yeah, we do. Because we do favor when the refs don't call calls and they don't do any whistles like they did last night. We have an advantage because we can out physical y'all. If it's the normal us and we're really playing physical, we can out physical y'all. And don't get it twisted. You have Joel Embiid, but after that, we're going to beat you down with every single 6'9" guy we have otherwise and stuff like that. G saying Raps can play just as physical, but don't think you really want to see them smacking Maxey. We're just saying let both sides play or not. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's got to be consistent on both ends. Nick Nurse said it last night. Fred VanVleet said it last night. It was not fair on either side. This is not just Rap fans saying this. The player, the coach, the people who are on the court are saying this too. And there's a reason why Fred VanVleet cussed out fucking Kane Fitzgerald at the end of the game when he was getting his foul out and he took that technical is because he's letting him know. He's telling him that this shit is not consistent on both ends. Is part of it right there. Warren's saying, who cares if you don't think we're the best team? We're better than the Raptors. Man, you haven't fucking proved shit. You haven't gotten past the second round in how long? And since 2001. So go eat a dick, Sixers fan. You have no leg to stand on. You won one playoff game. And if that's enough for you, we will go ahead and get 4 and put you out in the first round. You get overconfident. You start feeling that way. It's exactly what we want you to do. Because once you're overconfident, you think you got it in the bag, we fucking steal this shit from you still in the first round. You watch. You're going to see, man. Warren's also saying, I'm just enjoying this right now. I'm going to give him one shot, and then he's fucking out. Watch. The Sixers have been averaging 120 points a game since Harden got here. We let y'all score 111. You don't think our defense steps up next game? No, I don't think your defense. I think your defense did good last night, honestly. I think your defense was fine last night. I don't think it's going to step up. I'm telling you, you played a perfect game last night. You better hope you play perfect every single fucking game to win the series because I don't think you can play as good in the second game. It's going to go downhill from here. First of all, Nick Nurse is going to figure this shit out, and our guys are going to get more and more motivated to fuck y'all up is what's going to happen. G saying that means nothing without a chip. Harden is 32. While the Raptors are one of the youngest teams in the league, you guys are win with all the pressure. You guys have to win. You guys were said all year you were championship contenders. You're not supposed to lose to a team that's not even supposed to be in the playoffs. So there's all this pressure on y'all. We have nothing to lose. We're supposed to do this. We're supposed to be going out. And it's funny that you come in here, you want to talk shit to me right now. That's fine. That's fine. I'm glad you're here, honestly. Yards is saying, jumped ahead. Let me make sure I catch everything. I got to say everything here. Yards is saying, where is Yards? Holy crap, there's a lot here. All right, I'm going to have to speed up. I'm already at 2 hours. And I might start skipping certain people. Honestly. Oh, yeah, this is way ahead. Okay, the NBA has a big anti-pro Embiid agenda, and it makes me sick. Yeah, I'm not sure what you're saying with the anti and pro Embiid. Like, that's kind of a double negative there. Monique's saying, refs need to go G League. We still got this. They need extra training is what Monique's saying. I love you, Monique. You're the best. All right, let's see. You know what I'm going to do, man? You're done, bro. You are out of here, bro. I'm sick of this. I don't have time for fucking war on the man. Yeah, you fucking dumbass. You get the fuck out of here. All right. Race mode is saying Raptors playing with a lot of confidence. Raps in 5. Let's go. I like that. Race mode's keeping in it. See, he's still saying 5. We can sweep y'all still. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, geez. G saying Embiid pushed Pascal on his back when he turned around. So disappointed in his demeanor. Yeah, that was because of the push that Pascal did to him when he was sitting on the floor. Monique saying, hope Gary Trent Jr. game last night doesn't happen again. So off. He was sick. There's something wrong with Gary. Hopefully he looks better. Curtis is here again. Good to see Curtis again. I'm so bad. Scottie got hurt. So mad. Yeah. Yeah, we're all mad about this. It's not cool. And the way he stepped on him, it looked really bad. G saying it took 2 injuries, 2 players to be fouled out, and Fred and Gary having bad shooting nights. Yeah, there's a lot of things that went round. I mean, Fred had a good shooting night actually, but Gary definitely did have a bad shooting night. Curtis saying they were playing dirty all game. They were playing more physical than us, and we didn't match that intensity, which is too bad. G saying this is a reply to this idiot that I just kicked out. We are soft. Let the Raptors play as physical as Embiid, but the refs won't. You think Raptors can't elbow people in the head? The hypocrisy is crazy. Yeah. If we were given license to do some of the things that Joel Embiid did last night, yeah, we would have probably hurt some Sixers fans. I mean, Sixers players. We didn't want to hurt them. Honestly, we're not like that. Joel Embiid looked like he seriously was trying to hurt our players, and that was part of their plan for the game last night. And that's just dirty, goonish shit. G saying Embiid cries for every call, but we're soft. Yeah, no, Joel Embiid's the one who's soft. I'm gonna tell you right now, he's soft. The way he fucking cried like a little bitch when we put him out in 2019, he is soft. He's the soft motherfucker right here. I like what Isaiah is saying. Isaiah Gamil, new name. Love to see new names. Someone's got to fight Embiid. Laugh out loud. I like that. Somebody's got to give him a receipt. That's what I'm saying. Somebody's got to give him some sort of receipt, is an elbow or whatever it is, just to wake him up and let him know we're not going to let him do this kind of shit anymore. G's saying he would have be fouled out first. I mean, I've already deleted all this bullshit. Sharon saying you were correct. We did not cheer when he got hurt. We cheered because he got up. Yeah, this is like I said, the NBA media wanted to make Raptor Nation look bad by saying that we were happy that Kevin Durant got hurt, and it got blown out of proportion. Now all these people think this is bullshit. It's like, listen, it's not so self-centered that we were just looking at Kevin Durant. There was a whole play involved in that with Serge Ibaka, and that's why the fans were cheering. G saying Raps are physical too, but refs call soft calls for them. Be careful what you wish for. Raps can foul hard too, and maybe they will. Yeah, I'm with G on this, and I hope they do. Honestly, we have receipts. This is what I'm saying. I keep saying the word receipts, and that means we got some get back. Monique saying so much to clean up from last night. Continue to pray for Scottie. Yeah. We really do want Scottie to hopefully be not that hurt and everything's fine. But whatever, we'll adjust to whatever the news is and whatever we have to do day to day. This is just how it is. The playoffs is a day by day, game by game, play by play kind of thing. And you take it from what happened. We had something happen last night. We'll see what happens in the next one. Tomorrow night could be a completely different kind of game, and we fuck up the Sixers. And then these Sixers fans, we ain't going to see them fucking come in here and talk this shit at that point. No, they won't. Isla Flop saying, to be fair, Philly fans were cheering that Fred fouled out, not that Scottie went down. Okay, that's good information to know that too, that was part of what was going on in that moment in itself. Yeah, because honestly, nobody wants to see Scottie Barnes, a player like him with such youthful excitement about the game and just awesome dude, get hurt and not be able to play. They want to see him play. He's entertaining. He's really good. Tom Duke saying, the way you see it, but you are wrong. He's talking to this idiot that already booted. Curtis is saying at him, you could talk when your team wins a championship. Yeah, the fucking Sixers haven't won since 83. Like, what the fuck have they done? Like, seriously, James Harden ain't done shit in his career. Joel Embiid has not won a championship. Pascal Siakam has won a championship. So there's some real big differences here in talking and having clout in different ways. I'm sorry. Yeah, you guys are really going off on them, and I'm glad. G, you are a mod in here. If you feel like somebody's too fucking annoying and negative and you want to fucking boot them yourself, you have the rights to do that. You can go, I give you that license because you have the little wrench. Warren, I was there. It's BS. A few players were pointing, but Katie was down in pain, so it looked like Serge stole the ball and dunked. When they saw he was injured, they chanted for him. Yeah, that's exactly how it went down. Totally different. Truth versus BS. Curtis is saying, I never liked Embiid, but after this game, I hate him so much. Yeah, you know what? I'm with you. Mark B is saying this. This is a new name. Let's see what he's saying. If you feel bad about Raptors game one, the Timberwolves stole game one from Memphis. I'm not saying the Wolves are going to beat a 2 seed. the Wolves stole the energy out of the building. It happens. Yeah, that was very interesting. And also the Jazz beating the Mavs yesterday without Luka was really important. That's that 4-5 matchup on the Western side. The 5 seed beating the 4 seed in their home court in the first game. And that's what I was hoping for last night with our series, but it didn't happen. And that's a really interesting matchup Mark's bringing up, the Timberwolves and the Grizzlies. That's a very much more even than the 2-7 kind of matchup in some ways because of the way the teams are built. That the Minnesota Timberwolves actually play the Grizzlies in a very kind of similar kind of matchup. Like having Cat is a huge advantage for Minnesota. And, Memphis has a real grit to them but they're also very young and unproven in the playoff kind of thing. And in some ways, Patrick Beverley being a vet and being on the Timberwolves roster last night really helped the Wolves win the first game of that series. It was very interesting stuff, Mark. And I don't know. Those other games are really going to be interesting and fun. I think Memphis will ultimately overtake Minnesota and win this series because they're just so good. They've got so many different weapons. But Minnesota could give them a real good run for their money, for sure. G saying, KD always talks highly of Raps fans. Go look at his interviews, the media, and their BS. Yeah, KD has a love-hate relationship with Toronto. He loves the Raptors. They were his favorite team when he was a little kid. He was a Vince Carter fan. He said that when he was a kid, he wanted to play for the Raptors. That's part of the reason why, in some ways, we've always said maybe Kevin Durant will come play for us because he has said in the past that this was his team when he was a kid. And, what's happened is that he really loves us so much that he wants to beat the shit out of us. that is part of it. And then the way the finals happen with us in Golden State, he really wants to beat the shit out of us now because we were one of the teams that beat him in the finals. So, but he does have a genuine respect and a love for the Raptors franchise and the people around that team also. So it's a weird love-hate relationship that Kevin Durant has specifically with the Raptors. Isaiah is saying, can't wait to see Embiid cry when this is over. Yeah, let's keep this in perspective that Embiid, you still have a big chance to be very disappointed and look like a fool. And the Sixers, you still have a huge gulf of fuckery where you could fall into a failure with what's happening with the Raptors. That, don't get ahead of yourself. You won one game. You're going to say, oh, we won by 20 points. We're beating you by 20. Well, the refs set the tone from the beginning and handcuffing Fred VanVleet and way they were calling it. And you guys jumped out to a lead. And we were chipping away at it at different times. But every time we got a little bit close, things got a little fucked up. And it was a good game. You guys played a good job. I got to give you credit. And I'm not going to totally blame the refs. We know we have to overcome the refs and the other teams sometimes as being the only Canadian team in the league. And that's just part of the landscape being Toronto Raptors and stuff like that. So, whatever this guy said, I'm not even reading it or giving it a second thought. Curtis is saying, Sixers play dirty, we will play dirty. Yeah, we're going to have to work to that. Samson saying, can I link a video of VanVleet's first 2 fouls that you missed? I love that, Samson. If you could do that for me, just put it in the comments, and then I can watch it and see exactly how they did Fred right at the beginning of the game. Because they're saying that he got a foul 2 seconds into the game, right off the jump ball. That'd be very interesting to see how they did that. Isaiah saying, the only way Sixers could win this is through owning the refs and Embiid's dirty plays. See, he's pro Raptors, so I'm going to give him a megaphone right there. Hey, I love what you're saying, Isaiah. I'm not totally agreeing with it, but we need to really watch out because they got game 1, and now we got work to do. Monique saying, Nick Nurse called out the refs in his post. So happy. Yeah, he did. And he did it in a way where he's probably not going to get fined, which is smart. Like, it's basically what he said. If Joel Embiid is going to be allowed to just run our guys over and we won't get any offensive charges, even if we have position, we're out of the restricted zone, and he's just going to be able to run right over us, they're going to give him that license, then we can't fucking win this series is part of what's going to say. They're going to let the biggest guy in the court do whatever the fuck he wants, and he's already really hard to stop, and they're just going to look the other way and not call any offensive charges on him when he runs right over guys, then we can't win this series. That's what Nick Nurse specifically said last night. And that he hopes that maybe the refs will fucking be a little more fair. Samson saying, you can look at it live. Yeah, I want to see it live. If you can post it, Samson, I'd love to see it. Just put it in the comments, and I'll watch it after this because I do want to see it because I didn't get to see the beginning of the game because of the fucking Minnesota game going longer. Sharon A's here. Good to see another new name. The Raptors finished only 3 games behind Philly, and we lost the series to Detroit. Philly is not that good. Yeah, they've had times when they've been really good during the season. I thought the Philadelphia was really good the first half of the season with Seth Curry and Andre Drummond before they did the trade. And then in some ways, they've done well at times with Harden, but they've also failed with Harden. There's been times where the gelling with him hasn't worked exactly right. And one of the things Doc Rivers said last night was that he threw out a bunch of their old plays that they did most of the season when James came in because they wanted to tailor fit him to be able to be more valuable and useful in their offense. And they realized that if they're trying to do their old system before James came, he didn't work well in it. And that was part of the adjustment period the Sixers had when they first got James Harden. That it didn't work because they were trying to do their old system. And then they switched things to have a package in it that allows James to be James. And that's what they're doing now with their thing. That's what Doc said last night. It's very interesting. Curtis is saying, Philly fans for sure won't like it if we try to injure one of their players. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to talk too much openly about retribution. I'll just say there's receipts to be had. That's all I'll say. Isaac Campbell saying a few extra wins this season and the series would have been started in Toronto. Raptors are going to now come out swinging and keep swinging, except we are going to win clean and head home 1-1. That was ultimately the whole plan for this trip to Philadelphia for game 1 and game 2 is to steal one of the games there. If we can get both of them, that's great. That's not going to happen at this point, and we still have the opportunity to accomplish what we want to do in Philadelphia, and that's steal one of the first 2 games in the series. So we got to win tomorrow, and they got to protect their home court is what they have to do. Their pressure is still on them. And that if we win the game tomorrow night, it's this whole series is completely flipped on its head, and now the Raptors look like the favorite. So Philadelphia still has a lot of pressure. And listen, you guys, if you can duplicate that same shit that you did last night, good for you. You're doing great then. I don't think that's possible. I don't think you will. I don't think that you could play so perfectly again. And when I say perfectly, that means having your main guys shoot so well and contribute so much like Tobias Harris and shit like that, and then not have any turnovers. You can play that fucking perfect? No, we're going to get those cough. We're going to cough those balls up. We're going to get those fucking deflections. We're going to get some stuff going good in the right way from our defense tomorrow night. I can fucking put some money on that. I'll bet you money. If there's one thing that Nick Nurse adjusts today is he's going to find a way to pry that ball out of the Philadelphia 76ers hands when they're on offense and get turnovers. That is one thing we're going to make sure happens. Tom Duke's saying this guy, this idiot, is trashing his own coach on a Raps thread after last night's victory. G might need to pull out the wrench. Yeah, I'm serious, G. If you want to pull out the wrench, especially since we're in the playoffs and everything's heightened, even the live stream and the fan interaction is heightened, G, you can be a mod. You have that wrench power. You have it. I gave it to you because you were having trouble getting into the trivia one day, and I haven't taken it away because you have shown you can use this responsibility. G, you have the power. You use it. Scott B saying, you coming to Toronto, Ron? Scott B saying he wants to see if this guy will actually come to Toronto and we'll see who's soft. Very interesting. Samson saying, I can post a link showing the Van Vliet 2 fouls in 39 seconds. Yes, please do it, Samson. Either put it in here or put it in the comments. I want to see it somewhere. Scott B saying, without the refs, you can't win. Monique saying, OG looked decent. Yeah, OG played all right. His stats looked okay. It's like we need him to be more aggressive. I love that attacking the rim, that one point he did. It was really, really good. Scott B saying, if you think Maxi's going to score 38 points a game, you got another thing coming. Yeah, this is realistic. This is true. Like, especially because the adjustment is not only going to be like playing more physical, getting more rebounds, getting them to turn the ball over, but containing Maxi is going to be something they really work on. And in some ways, I kind of want to see Malachi or Armani come out and give it a good, like, small guy kind of defensive intensity. Like Malachi can come out and shut down Maxi, then he's doing a real good service for us. And I'd like to see that. I feel like Fred may have too much trouble trying to keep up with him with his knee and different things like that. This is something I was worried about going into the series. So I'd like to see Flynn get minutes to try and specifically shut down Maxi. Now, if they're going to play OG on Maxi and try and do it that way, that's fine too. But for some reason, I feel like these smaller guards might be able to do it better. And Malachi is a better defender than Armani, at least from what I've seen, and that he has been able to shut down quick guards like Maxi at different times this season. And that we might need to try Malachi for this, especially if we have guys hurt and there's going to be minutes that are going to be needed to be filled by some of the bench guys. Brian's saying Alexi's still going. Give this man a like. Yeah, man, we don't care. These haters can come in here and talk shit. They can fucking try and browbeat us, beat us down, and fucking try and tell us what they see as the reality and stuff like that. The reality is we lost the first game. That Philadelphia played a perfect game. They played really, really well. They deserved to win. The refs were helping them to a degree, but yes, we can't completely blame the refs. That Philadelphia played really well, and we didn't play to match their energy, and that this is a long series and there's a lot of time still. And then we got to be, this is the channel for positive Raptor fans. We're not here to like talk about how we're going to have a demise or negativity or any of these kinds of stuff. We're talking about shining a light and making sure that we still have things to look forward to and that hopefully we can figure this out. Curtis is saying Joel is still mad about 2019. He's got to be. He obviously is. James Mallard's here. Good to see James Mallard. We always have an interesting conversation with James Mallard's here. The calls were awful, but we can always come back in this series. Yeah, I believe in that. And that's the thing that we have the wisdom and the perspective to understand this is a 7-game series. This is one game. This is them holding serve. This is what they needed to have to do. It's almost like if you guys had not won last night, yeah, you would be in big trouble. Like the house fire, you would be like, we're in trouble. And you needed to do this. You needed to do this and prove that you could beat us, because we beat y'all 3-1 in the regular season, and that we had handled you guys pretty well for the most part. But last night you guys had to play perfect. Isaiah saying Embiid playing like Ty Domi. Ty Domi, we mentioned Ty Domi on the stream today. It's amazing. James Mallard saying the cup is half full. Next man up. Precious finished strong. OG came online a little, and Fred VanVleet and P were effective. That's the thing. If we miss these guys, if Thad's out, if Scottie's out, then Precious steps up. Then Yuta steps up. Next man up mentality. That's what we've got to see next. Monique's saying Raptors in 5. Raptors in 5. Please remember, I'm going to game 3. Oh, Monique's going to be at game 3. Sue's going to be at game 3. Y'all bring that good energy and that good spirit to the building. And I commend everybody going down to Jurassic Park last night and staying there, even though the game looked ugly and was really hard to be there. It's good that the fans go there and hang out there, no matter what, whether we win or lose. It's very important. Monique's saying, I wonder what Champagne's thinking right now. Yeah, I bet he wishes he could play in this series, but he wasn't converted as a two-way player, and he's going to be in street clothes for this series, for the playoffs. It's too bad. The family saying every time we got close, the refs sent them back to the line to change the flow of the game. Yeah, I agree with this. The family saw it. I saw it. Curtis says if we win the next game, we will have great momentum going back home to the Air Canada Center. This is exactly true. And we have to remember our history in the playoffs, that we go these lows, like lose the first game of the series. That's always what the Raptors have always done. We've done that. Like what was the stat, Monique? You put it out there last night. It's 3 out of 12, 3 and 12 in first games of playoff series. We win the 3 out of 15 series. We won the first game. But our success in the playoffs has had mattered. We've won in the playoffs. We've done very well, even though we dropped the first game to other teams. In fact, I call it the Canada discount in some ways. This is our Canada discount in the playoffs, that we have to spot the team we play the first game every single time. And that's what we did to Orlando in the championship run in the first game of the series. We lost the first game of the series to the Milwaukee Bucks in the Eastern Conference Finals that year, and we still won the championship. So it's that kind of thing. It's that kind of stuff. And that's true. We win this game tomorrow night. We have the momentum. We're the ones who are looking good. We just have to win the game tomorrow night, and that's really good. Family saying the NBA could not have Philly lose that game, and the referees will be like, that is the whole series. Yeah, that's true. Like, we bust them open on their home court right in the first game and fucking just kick their ass. It's not good for the NBA. It's not good for that franchise in particular. This franchise that they have invested so much hype and bullshit into this whole season. They can't make Dick Jefferson and all these other idiots on ESPN look totally stupid by seeing the Raptors absolutely dominate and put the Sixers out. So there's a little bit of insurance. Give them the first game. Make sure the Sixers win the first game. Is exactly what the family's talking about right here. And I was thinking this last night, the same thing. Is like the NBA had to make sure the Sixers won game 1. They just had to. Raymond's saying at G, laugh out loud, hi, and at Waron, go put him in his place in the future, though. Don't boot so fast. Let Alex rough him up a bit. I love watching. Raymond wants to see me just talk shit to people and stuff like that. No, I booted him eventually just because I see there's so many comments here. We're going to get through this. This is probably going to be a 3-hour stream. And I don't want to waste time echoing or saying the bullshit that he's saying. No, like he's already set a tone for what his voice is in this stream. So it's like, why will I give him a further voice? There's no point to it. Like if you're respectful and we can talk like random gamer and other fans of your team, then that's fine. But if you're just going to come in here and just put us down and talk shit and stuff like that, I don't have time for this. Like we're talking about respectful way. We're talking about it in a serious way. And you may not agree with our perspective or think that we're right for saying what we're saying, Waron, but this is our perspective and how we feel about it. And that's valid for ourselves. The family's saying a series has never been won in one game. If you think they're not going to come out with a chip on their shoulder money, you don't know this team. That's exactly right. Our history with this, Fred is not, this is not good. This is not okay with Fred and Pascal. They're going to come out a different player tomorrow night. We're going to see Pascal hopefully try and be the dominant best player in the game tomorrow night for game 2. Monique saying, just imagine Chris going off in a game. Let's go. I'd love to see Chris Boucher not get saddled with foul trouble and let him just go off because he loves playing the Sixers and he has really good stats against them this season. Curtis is saying, the only thing I'm worried about is the Scottie Barnes, Birch, and Thad injuries. Yeah, it's troublesome and it is what it is. But also on the flip side, we're going to look at the bright side of it. If we do go out in this round and lose to Philadelphia, this is something we can say that like they punked us and hurt our guys, and that is part of the reason why we went out. But we don't want to use that excuse. We want to go ahead and beat them, even if we have guys that are hurt and missing games, because that's what we did all season. OG and Fred miss a game, and we still go out there and give a good effort and try and win. And that's what we want to continue to do. G saying, I want to give them a chance before pulling the plug. Plus, the banner is fun sometimes. But if they get out of hand, we'll do. Well, especially if they're spamming way too much and they're like really just like saying the same shit over and over again. Like if there's some sort of meat to their argument or some sort of stuff, and they're not just saying, y'all suck, you're bullshit, you're going to get swept. This is saying stupid shit like that. Then go right ahead, G. But I want you to know that if things are just getting a little too crazy, that you do have some power on this channel and that you're allowed to use it. Anselm's saying, what about Banton on Maxey? I kind of like that. Like, he seems kind of quick. I like what Banton did in the little bit of time that he got out there. He was out there and around and stuff like that. And it's good for him to pop his cherry for the playoffs. Like, we needed these guys to get out there and get that feel a little bit and see what happens. Curtis is saying, Maxey is so hard to guard because he's the fastest player on the court. Yeah, I like that. He is true. Like Maxey is the fastest player on the court out there. And that's kind of why I want to see Malachi and Armani, that they can keep up with him better than Fred. Because Fred isn't the fastest point guard in the league. He's really more savvy and smart in the way that he does things and stuff like that. And Maxey can really take a mismatch and use it against them. Like if you notice, Philly fan last night was really getting really excited when Maxey would have the ball and dribbling at the top at the half court, and Fred was on him. They were just waiting for him to try and beat him off the dribble and to do stuff like that. And the way that they chanted Maxey's name last night was really cool, actually. I believe that he deserved that kind of like adulation from Sixers Nation last night. That kind of performance needs to be recognized and showered with love by their fan base. I mean, I couldn't go wrong with that. That was respect. And I like that. I like that because Maxey was doing things the right way on the court, unlike the big guy on their team. Lolita Days, good to see another new name. We're here every morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. I start the stream, so come and talk to us any day. You're saying, okay, one game to you, on to the next. You poke the bear. Yeah, and I love the little emoticon, that cute little bear. No, we can't be cute little bears. We're going to have to be big, mean, green, mad bears. I was going to say Grizzlies, but there's a Grizzly team already. Yeah, we're going to have to be the mad bears. And they poked Fred VanVleet as a bear. Hopefully he comes out and he kicks some ass tomorrow night. It used to be don't poke Kyle Lowry because he's the bear. But now it's all of our guys need to be the bear, whether it's OG, Pascal, Fred, whoever. Samson saying, I think they should put Watanabe on him. I don't think we have a better on-ball, high-energy player. Watanabe on him as soon as he touches the ball. You know, he did play Maxey really well right at the end when they were trying to get him this 40 points. So you'd have shut him down. He didn't let him do anything, and that's good. That's really good. But we need more of that from everybody. And maybe these bench guys are a little hungry and they have nothing to lose. They will come out and do some good stuff for us. Because in some ways, they don't hurt us as badly against some other teams. Philadelphia's makeup with their roster, with guys like Korkmaz and Yang, and those guys are not the most athletic guys in some ways. So when you bring in somebody like Yuta or Svi or Isaac Bonga, they may not hurt us as bad as maybe like if we were playing them against the Celtics or the Bucks or something like that. The Sixers, we can maybe get away with playing some of our deep bench in important minutes, and they won't get like burned for it. Yeah, I like Banton for this series too. G saying, Samson saying just Maxi. Raymond Jacobs saying, "Ha, yeah, have some fun first." And he said, Lex, I sent you a DM on IG just now about games and replays. Yeah, Raymond, you just reminded me. I did see the messages you sent me from Instagram yesterday, and I saw your plan. It looks very badass, and I love what you're saying on it. We'll talk about that privately in our own chat and stuff like that. But I definitely want to make some arrangements for you and I to hang out at some point in the next months or some point sometime this summer for sure. Monique's saying 5-17, Lex. I'm not sure what that number is. Those numbers are. Tom Duke's saying at G, agreed. Love watching Lexi go off, and you and your digs are solid too, bro. Thanks, I appreciate that, Tom. Samson saying I posted in the link. Did you get it in the chat? You skipped my comment with the link. I'll go look at it in the comments if you put it in the comments. I don't know if I see it, Samson. They might have sometimes YouTube censors or something doesn't let me see everything. Curtis saying Maxey honestly was the best player on the Sixers. Yes, he's the best player on the court. He just dominated the game and he won the game for them. Congratulations to him. Isaiah saying Maxey's nice, but I doubt he goes for 38 again. Yeah, his high before was 16 points, like you're saying. That was a really big burst and jump for him. Yeah, it deletes the link. So I'll go see it if you put it in the comments, not on the chat, but actually in the comments on the post for the live stream, I'll be able to see it there. But I do definitely want to see it. Yeah. All right. Perfect, guys. All right. Let me just real quick, since I've gotten through the comments now, I'm just going to go over the box score really quick. First, we'll do the home team because they did do really well last night. 9 of 14 shooting for Tobias Harris and 3 3-pointers, way more than we wanted him to do. He's 26 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. He just had a good all-around game. Like that is comparable to what Pascal Siakam did last night. Actually, that's better than what Pascal Siakam did last night. And we can't have that. We can't have their third option be as good as our best player. Danny Green getting that one offensive rebound, that really sucked. But he did miss all of his threes last night. I'll take that. 0 for 5 for 3. Joel Embiid, 5 for 15 from the field. That's not good. He had 19 points, 15 rebounds. He could have been way worse to us. We did a good job on Joel Embiid, honestly. That is an area where we can actually see that we had a small victory as far as containing him, but obviously his thuggery was really bad overall. 14 of 21 from the field for Maxey, 5 of 8 from 3-point range. This dude was just a badass. So many kudos to Tyrese Maxey. Honestly, I have to give him credit. And Harden, he actually played pretty well. I can't dog on Harden. 22 points, 14 assists, 4 of 7 from threes. That really hurt us, the three-pointers by Harden. We don't need him scoring points. Niang was kind of annoying at different times. He hit 2 threes, 8 points. Not too bad. Paul Reed had some bright spots different times with rebounds. Thibault was annoying. He hit a 3, but he didn't really play a whole lot. Milton actually did some good stuff for them. 10 points off the bench for them. He hit his only 3-point attempt and was 3 for 4 from the field. And then the other guys just garbage minutes at the end. They didn't do anything. Now on our side, Pascal shot really well. 50%, 9 of 18, as I said. He hit all of his free throws. He actually played a really solid game. But in this kind of situation, when we're fighting for our lives against the Sixers, we need him to absolutely try and step up and be the franchise best, absolute best NBA player on the court between both teams. And he didn't do that. He didn't show up in the first half. It's like most of what Pascal did last night was all after halftime. And it was by then it was too late, too little, too late. And we needed him to be the aggressor right from the start. OG, a really quiet, solid game, 9 of 15, 2 3-pointers, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 20 points. I'm not having any problem with what OG did last night. I even like how aggressive he showed his game at times. Like he was being more aggressive than normal OG at times. It was really good. Scottie was on point like last night, really doing well until he got hurt. 4 of 6 from the field, 7 of 9 free throw line. 10 rebounds, 8 assists, just 2 assists away from a triple-double in his first ever NBA playoff game. Now, if he had not gotten hurt and maybe played the rest of the game, he might have gotten those 2 assists and finished with a triple-double. It's too bad because he really was right away from the beginning of the game. He was doing great things and helping us a lot and making winning plays and just showing that he is not shrinking in the playoff spotlight. And it's just tragic that he got hurt last night. And let's just hope and pray that he is going to bounce back from this really fast because he's a young guy with good health and stuff like that. So Fred, good game actually. 7 of 12 is really good. When Fred shoots 7 of 12, we usually win for sure. But maybe he didn't shoot enough. 4 of 7 from the field. He did foul out early, which was too bad. 6 assists. He only had 6 assists, no turnovers. It's really good. Fred had a really solid game, honestly. I can't get on him or Pascal, but they could have done a little bit more. Gary was obviously not himself. 2 of 11, 9 points. Thad Young got hurt so early, and that actually was very crucial because he was about to come in and help us settle things down. And then he got in that weird little thing with Harden on the floor. I'm not even sure exactly how he bent his thumb back. But I hope that he's the one that I'm most worried about. Like, he may be the most seriously injured out of the 3 guys, actually, because that thumb, the way he was holding it and like stuff like that didn't look good. Boucher, foul trouble early, only 15 minutes and he fouled out. That's really fucked up. That's like in the history of the Raptors franchise, that's one of the quickest foul outs for not playing very minutes. 15 minutes and you get 6 fouls. That is fucked up. And that's part of what the refs did. And a lot of his fouls were fucked up fouls that weren't real fouls. They were like phantom fouls at times. Some of the shit that got called on him. Like that one play where he tried to take the charge and he's on the ground. How the fuck is he getting a foul for that? Precious Achua could have played better. 3 of 9 from the field. Didn't shoot super well. He could have played more aggressive. He was aggressive at times. But let's see what happens if we have guys missing time and he has to start and he has to have an expanded role in the next couple games. Yuta, fine, really good job. I like what he did in the 5 minutes he came out there. He showed good defense. He did make a shot. Birch didn't play that much. Also, 8 minutes that Kem only played out there. We should be playing Kem more. I know he got hit in the face and he had to go to the back for a little while, but hopefully he'll be fine and we need him. And then the other guys, I mean, we're going to have to see Flynn, Banton, and Birch come in and try Maxey. It may be a kind of thing where we try these different guys on Maxey, just like how we do different guys on Embiid. We may have different guys come in and trying to slow down Maxey. One of the most important things we need to do against the Sixers better that we didn't do last night is stop the ball. We need to really find the ball handler and really stop their momentum coming down the court because they come downhill towards the basket. They have good things happen to them. And that's something we need to do going the other way to them is get them on their heels because we're coming downhill on them and stuff like that. So, all right, let's see. Yeah, all right. You guys haven't really added anything there. All right. Well, once again, we have to have a short memory. We have to let them watch the tape, have to adjust. We have to say, hey, this is the one game that's over and done with. They needed to hold serve and win this one because the pressure was on them, and they did. And now we can try and put the pressure on them by winning the second game against them in their home court. That'll be just as effective as if we won the game last night. And short memory, hopefully like these players, and these guys get health quickly. But if we have to do next man up mentality, these guys need to step up and do something. So, yeah, don't count the Raptors out. Don't get too overconfident, Sixer fan, because it's still a lot of series to be played. All right, guys. Have a happy Easter. Thanks for being here with me for almost 3 hours, and appreciate it. We got to shine a light in the positivity no matter what. Lolita's saying the superstar of the game's the refs. Yeah. Sorry, players. Y'all supporting acts only. Yeah, you know what? I can't disagree with this to an extent, although Tyrese Maxey was a pretty badass player last night, so I have to give him credit. Okay, y'all. Let's go, Raptors. Stay positive. We'll be back tomorrow for the preview for the game tomorrow. I'll tell you what the ref crew is tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be a better names and people that I can trust better than these guys. I lost some trust in Kane Fitzgerald and Bill Kennedy last night, which is too bad because they're 2 of my favorite refs in the NBA, and they did not help us last night. They were bad refs last night. Okay, let's go, Raptors. See y'all tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Have a great Sunday, y'all. Be good to each other and love your loved ones, and pray for Scottie to get better fast. We need him back as soon as possible. We cannot have him miss time. We need you back, Scottie. We hope you're fine and everything goes good with the imaging today. All right, let's go.